It's funny because I just didn't add us to this room for a second. So, whoops.
So we're in?
Yeah, we're in. We're live.
All right. We're live. Rich will be joining us momentarily. He's trying to get the Roadcaster set back up. We're all struggling this close to the weekend. As you can see, I don't have a stand anymore for my mic.
It's called your
It's
hands.
yeah, that's what God gave me hands for. So Rich is trying to get the Roadcaster set back up for his stuff. So he will be joining us momentarily. But welcome back to Roster Rescue. The Monday after the NFL draft, we have all of these different different drafts starting, different leagues beginning, new years are blossoming. The birds are singing, the sky is beautiful. Like it's a good day. It is a good day. Colin says he cannot hear me.
Which turn on your sound? What?
This is going well.
Dude,
this is going
I can hear
very,
you though.
very well.
There's no reason. Here, I'm tuning in.
Can no one hear us though?
Yeah, No, I can hear you on stream. I think Jonathan or Colin, I think it's a you problem.
Well, it's Jonathan too. We have two people.
No, I think Jonathan's telling him to turn on his sound.
Oh.
Yes. Okay. We're good.
That makes sense.
Because I can hear us on stream. Man, is this a joke at my expense?
It's one of those days. This is how you know it's about to be a fire show. This is how you know.
Yeah.
Because when you have this many technical difficulties, like it's about to be amazing. So this is just setting us up for crazy success.
Yep.
So
it's all the storylines, man.
So when Rich is available and ready, he will in fact join us. But he's not ready at the moment. But I have a feeling, and I could be wrong. Maybe people are like, look, I'm focused on my drafts. I got stuff to do. But I have a feeling we're going to have a lot to get to today. And with that, I don't want to waste a lot of time. So with that, Pete, what are we beginning with today, my guy?
Oh, guess you just joined.
Who just joined?
It's Rich.
Hey, Rich. How's it going, buddy?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yep. I can. Yep.
All right, I gotta check some stuff here.
You're good. We're all struggling a little bit. I don't have my stand, as you can see, so I'm holding the mic this entire time. So we're all struggling a little bit today.
Okay. Yeah, I realized I was like, dude, we just went to New York, and I just set all that stuff up.
Yeah. Nope. I get you, man. It's but that's how you know it's going to be an amazing show. When a bunch of stuff just doesn't work right and goes wrong, it means it's about to be a fire show.
No, it's going to be a mixed fire show. We're probably. I hope we have a lot of questions coming in that want to talk about rookie drafts. I am inundated with a lot of rookie drafts starting today.
Yeah,
kind of fun. Made some moves already. Did some trades.
Absolutely. So Jesse, if you want to know, and everybody else that wants to know, if you look in the upper right-hand corner, now in the upper left-hand side, just as we switched, it is going to be that QR code. If you scan that QR code, that is your way to get those rosters rescued. We have also changed something slightly, and Pete, correct me if I'm wrong, but we've seen a trend, a tendency where people like to just ask their questions on the stream for as far as trades. Now, if you want a full roster rescued, you got to go to the website because we have a lot of information that we need ahead of time for that type of thing. But if it's a trade question, instead of having to go all the way to the site, just do a super chat. Just do a super chat. If you do a super chat, we will make sure we answer your trade question. So that's a little transition that we're making here. And you know what? It's up to you what you want to give. So let's begin with our very first roster rescue of the day. And this is for our guy, Anthony. Anthony, this is a 1 QB league. He's got 101, 103, 104, 106, 107, 108, 201, and 401. So quarterback position here. We have Caleb Williams, Baker Mayfield, J.J. McCarthy. Running backs, James Conner, Trey Benson, Jalen Wright, Nick Chubb. Wide receivers, Romo Dunze, Jalen Waddle, Michael Pittman, Cedric Tillman, Christian Kirk. And then at tight end, Noah Gray, I guess, is the best. Not much at all at tight end. But picks-wise, he already mentioned a ridiculous treasure trove of picks. This team is the number 8 team in the 10-team league. Dynasty-wise, contender-wise, though, where are we at, Pete?
Drum roll.
10th. So we are in dead last. So, Rich, I don't know about you, but this is probably one of the more straightforward roster rescues I think we've done, where you kind of take a look at what this team has already been trying to do, and you say, hey, keep doing it. You're on the right path. You have the right idea. You built your wide receiver core up. Now let's use these picks that you've acquired and crush your draft.
Yeah, I mean, his running back room. Say that was a contender room. He has so many draft picks in this class. That's not a concern at all, right? Like he's fine there. You know, if he's probably gonna be able to compete this year just because of that draft class. James Conner is gonna be a really good in-season trade candidate for you. When he starts to produce, you'll be able to trade him for a future first, hopefully, or even if it's a couple seconds, I'm fine with that. You know, it all depends how desperate that team is in your draft. I heard a rumor today. Nick Chubb is leaning towards signing with the Chicago Bears, which would make sense why they didn't attack the running back position in the draft. Jalen Wright, we'll see. I think he can get some run. Obviously, Trey Benson backs up James Conner there. So you're set at running back. But I don't want to say that to deter you. Like, you're drafting best player available in this draft. If we go back down to the receivers,
your wish
here.
Command.
Yeah, and even there, like I feel like the Romo Dunze situation
a little murkier.
A little bit more murky. But again, I mean, he's got the highest draft capital out of everybody besides Caleb Williams. That was Caleb Williams' dog when they got drafted. You know, like that's going to be his guy. So, you know, Luther Burden mostly just plays a slide. He really doesn't. You know, the more I thought about it, you know, Garrett, since the draft, like Luther Burden doesn't worry me about any of those guys. It's hot as Colston Loveland fill it. Luther Burden's be one of those guys that's going to be nice on an NFL team, but it's not going to be really matter too much on a week-to-week basis for fantasy. So, you know, receivers definitely a need here. You're fine again. You know, listen, for how much draft capital you have and being in 10th place, like in the roster like that you have constructed here, like you're in a good spot to start taking that big step forward. So like Garrett said in the beginning, everything you did, you've done correctly from a dynasty standpoint. You need a tight end, but guess what? There's 2 really good tight ends and some really good upside tight ends in this draft as well. So this shouldn't be an issue for you whatsoever. Like I want to grab one of the top guys like Warren or Loveland. You have Caleb Williams, so the Loveland stack might be kind of nice to have. If you want to diversify a little bit off the Romo Dunze, you know, Jalen Warren's fine as well. You have a couple of shots in the darks at the Terrence Fergusons, the Harold Fannons, the Mason Taylor tight ends as well. Those are going to be really good picks you can add to your roster. But depth here, now built on top of what you have, is really what's going to take that next step to compete in, right? Like this is a team that you want to go for a championship next year. And the draft picks that you make are going to have to be that the foot that crosses the line for you to say. So do we know what his picks are?
Yeah, so it's on the screen right now. Fun fact, I forgot to add this little background. We actually rescued his team last week.
Oh, nice.
So he's bought 2. So he did one for the pre-draft and one for the post-draft. So I set up a mock draft. His commissioner, no offense, commish, but you need to kind of get your act together. He has not renewed the league. So on our GM, it does not show anything. It just shows that he has a bunch of picks. But I transferred just manually over into the mock draft app.
Let's do it.
Do we want to do it?
Because that's the big thing is like we need to see all the players that are going to be added to this team. So let's go ahead and start at Ashton Genty, no doubt, 1-1, especially in a 1 QB league. Easiest pick of all time. All right, Travis Hunter goes 1-2, which is legitimately it could happen. I more often think Omar and Hampton will go.
Yeah, Hampton's gone pretty predominantly too in all my rookie drafts I have. I've seen now in Superflex leagues, I've seen Cam Ward go to, which is nice. But I mean, I would say Travis Hunter could go here, but I would say that's more apt to be a Mario and Hampton as well.
Can we manually change that, Pete? Because I know this is meant to be like, mixes things up and whatnot. But are we able to manually do that or no?
No.
Okay, here.
Okay.
Let's just assume.
Fun fact, I actually sat next to a Dynasty Nerds fan on the flight home yesterday, and he had a mock. He was a real draft, and Travis Hunter went 102. So
okay, can happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So let's go under the scenario, Garrett. If this person takes Travis Hunter, it's easy. You're taking a Mario and Hampton. If he takes a Mario and Hampton, it's easy. You're taking Travis Hunter. So either way, that's a win in this situation. So we're gonna play it how it is. Like obviously he knows. Like we're not reaching here for any picks. These picks are pretty locked in stone for us. So whichever way that goes, Anthony, you're taking the other one because then you're sitting there with pick 4, which again you're in a really good spot here. Go ahead. So to go ahead and take a Mario and Hampton here, Pete.
You bet.
To me, this is another no-brainer. These are all the no-brainers in a 1 QB draft for me.
Trivia.
It's Trevian Henderson.
Trivia. Yep.
I'm so happy that for me personally, Henderson, where he went in the draft, I've gotten so far the most shares in my draft from I've had pick 1-5, 1-7 is Trevian Henderson.
Love it.
My second highest pick has been Emeka Ibuka. So people are going to call me Ohio State homer, but it's really just taking the best player available. We're in that one league. It's an industry UDPL. And it's funny because I made a comment last year. I was like, man, I guess I'm just collecting Ohio State players. So I had Jackson Smith and Jigba, Marvin Harrison, and somebody else. In that league, I got Trevor. That's the league I took Trevor Henderson and Emeka Ibuka. So
Buckeye. You might have to change your name in that league. Buckeye Rich.
Yeah, Buckeye Rich is for sure. So Ted McMillan goes here.
I would have loved Tet to have fallen to us there. I didn't think it was going to happen, but it would have been nice because so far we've taken 3 running backs.
Yeah,
it would have been nice.
Yeah, but listen, it's great. It's great trade bait. His strongest position is receiver, anyways. You know what I mean? So it's not end of the world there. If Ted McMillan falls here, you take Ted McMillan. And honestly, I would take Ted McMillan here if I was that guy because the more I thought about too, like, listen, I like Quinshon Judkins a lot. Like he's a nice running back. He's a 3rd running back up off the board in deep class and went 2-3. That is really good draft capital. But they still took Dylan Sampson in the 4th, which is also a pretty good draft capital for a running back. I'm real interested in how to play that out. And with that little thing in the back of my head, it's just that little thing in the back of my head. Again, if it wasn't Dylan Sampson, who's somebody who I was so in love with in this process, I wouldn't be worried about. That does make me go, I want Quinshon on my roster, but I'm not as excited as probably a lot of other people are.
Sure.
Is the best way people. And a lot of people in drafts are like, oh, Rich is going to take the Browns running back. Like, no, every player that just won here, and if this was Superflex, I'd throw Cam Ward in that mix. I would take ahead of Quinshon Judkins, and he's a Browns running back that went 2-3. Dylan Sampson's just enough of a little scare for me. Like, I don't want to miss out on having a guy who's just a 1st and 2nd down running back. And that's what it is. And it just turns out he's like running back 17 consistently when I can get somebody like Ted McMillan who has a chance to be a wide receiver 1. If that makes sense.
I hear you. So at 1-6, we're at 1-6 now. We have 1-6, 107, and 108. So here we're probably looking at if it were me, it would probably be Quinshon, Emeka Ibuka, and then probably Colston Loveland.
Or Tyler Warren. Yeah.
Is
honestly,
Loveland your tight end 1 again?
Well, but this is not I could go either way on it. Like I am truly split down the middle. Yeah. It was because he had Caleb. That was the only reason I said Loveland. But I actually in a tie, I would lean Warren at this point.
I would lean Warren too.
And
honestly, Garrett, I would go depends.
Or would you go RJ Harvey here or Jaden Higgins here? Or would you go somebody like that?
I don't think immediate help. I'm gonna stick with my best player here. If you wanted to go Jaden Higgins or Jack Bash, kudos to you, whatever. But I'm definitely taking. I think we all agree we're taking Quinshon Judkins for sure, right?
Yep.
It's next player.
Yep. And Emeka Ibuka for sure. I think both those guys are for sure.
Now, if this went, say he got Tet McMillan instead of
or Travis Hunter instead of Omarion. One of those two.
Yeah, or something along those lines. It might change slightly here, but because I have no problem going RJ Harvey here. I have no problem going Quinshon, RJ, and tight end. I also have no problem going Quinshon, Emeka, tight end. And honestly, Garrett, for this team, if you really want to, I wouldn't because it's not tight end premium and it's only 10-man league. I could go both tight ends if you really wanted to. I don't recommend that, but I would have no issue going Quinshawn, Emeka, and then Warren. If he has Loveland, we could give him the stack. That's fine.
I'm fine with that.
And the reason I'm okay. Let me say this too. The reason I'm somewhat okay with passing on RJ Harvey, which again we could look back and it'd be a massive mistake, right? By taking Emeka over him right here for the upside, is because I think in that second round pick, we're either grabbing that second tight end or a guy like Cam Scadaboo in a 12-man league, possibly Caleb Johnson's there. So no need to go all running backs here. The way this plays out, I'm feeling pretty good about getting Cam Scadaboo probably in this spot. So I'd go Quinshawn, Junkins, Emeka, Ibuka, Tyler Warren, or Colston Loveland.
I like it. Nope, that's great. Like I said, splitting hairs for me on that one. It's more if you wanted the stack. If you don't, like, I think they're both totally adequate picks here. So let's go Quinshawn, Emeka, Tyler Warren here with 5, 6, 7 or 6, 7, 8. And then we have 201.
Oh, 201.
Cam. Pick. We got cammed by one pick.
RJ Harvey went, right?
No.
Yeah,
RJ Harvey did not. Oh, that's easy then.
We'll see. Assume we're getting Cam Scadaboo because Cam Scadaboo is not going over RJ Harvey. Our mock draft tool might not have just updated quick enough for the rank set on there on RJ Harvey. But RJ Harvey, again, take RJ Harvey, but Anthony, assume you're getting Cam Scadaboo here. Okay?
Yeah.
There's no world I could see Cam Scadaboo getting drafted ahead of RJ Harvey in any rookie draft. And if you are listening,
I would.
Do not do that. Do not. I love it. And I love me some Cam Scadaboo. But I love Sean Payton's offense even more in second round draft capital compared to fourth round draft capital.
Garrett, are you drafting Scadaboo over Harvey?
I would.
Okay.
Well, I would. That's why some people are successful and some people are not in this business.
Rich, I'm actually in the midst of doing a study. I'm in the midst of doing a study, and I'm waiting to get the all of the data that I need. But I'm doing a study from 2018 through 2024 on players that jumped the most in dynasty leagues into the early second or end of the first round, that changed the most from pre-draft ADP to post-draft ADP. And I want to see the success or lack of success correlation between players that jump the most because more or less of draft capital or a juicy landing spot or something like that. So I'm waiting to hear back. I'm pairing up with Ryan McDowell because he's got a lot of that data. I'm waiting to get that back, the data back from him on the ADP. And then I'm going to, do my magic in the spreadsheets. And I'm curious how that's going to play out because that is honestly going to affect a lot how I draft RJ Harvey or not.
Is that what going to be our show on next Tuesday? I
kind of thought about it, honestly.
I hope so. That'd be a really good show because I'm interested in it too. Like, look, Rashee Rice, like those guys that do jump.
Right.
I guess by position, because I bet running back probably has more success than anything else because they obviously jump because of draft capital. But interesting. So, anyways, we're back on the clock here for Anthony. We're at 4-1.
301.
301. Who's available?
We got Manungai, LeQuint, Ollie Gordon, Tootin.
Oh, yeah. Mason Taylor. Yeah.
Oh, Taylor,
Yeah, Mason Taylor.
Well, it's not tight end premium.
Who cares? I don't care. He needs a tight end. We drafted one. He needs many. So this is a great spot. Like I loved it.
Go back to the top, Pete. I feel like we're going too far.
No, Garrett, for me, for this team, like, because they're in that same tier, I'm 100% taking Mason Taylor here with that draft capital. If he wasn't there, I'd take Terrence Ferguson. If he wasn't there, they're both gone. I'm taking Harold Fannin because that gives us our number one tight end and then a nice backup young tight end. And look what we do with this team. I mean, this team is like now.
I'm fine with Mason Taylor. There's no way I'm taking Fannin.
Yeah, but you're wrong on Fannin. I'm correct. Fannin's gonna be good. Mark my words. Dynasty Rich, quote unquote. Fannin's gonna be fantastic. Fantastic Fannin. Double Fs. We're all effing around.
Did he quote and then unquote himself before he actually said any words?
I know. I like to think it's a quote graphic that the first word is literally unquote.
Ah, got it.
Yeah. Harold Fannin. Fantastic Fannin. No effing around.
All right. So
fantasy football, fantasy Fannin.
Anthony, I think this gives you a good idea, though. I mean, you're gonna be adding at minimum 3 very talented running backs to this roster, 2 very talented wide receivers, and a great tight end. So I think even if this goes slightly different than what we have projected on here,
Yeah.
you're in an amazing spot. You're in an absolute amazing spot. So congratulations. Well done. You deserve all the accolades. All right. What do we have next, Pete?
I am setting it up right now. It's Champions League.
Is
That's the name
this
of it.
my guy Steven?
Steven, yep. We do
Ooh,
go.
Steven, we are about to get you rescued.
Ooh, what are you drinking, Garrett?
Waterloo? I don't know if you ever drink Waterloo.
I do drink a lot of Waterloo.
Yeah, it's lemon lime Waterloo.
I'm just over here declining bad trades for my draft picks.
Oh,
Okay.
man, I've had so many bad trade offers.
I just got offered in a Superflex tight end premium league. Somebody's 27 first for TJ Hawkinson and Baker Mayfield.
Jeez.
Oh, God,
all right,
that's
so
good.
Steven's league. This is Superflex tight end premium with a lot of bonuses, and we could go through and read them all, but it's just know basically anything you can get a bonus for, there's a bonus. This is also an IDP league. Now, the GM tool, we don't have the IDP players show up, so we're just going to discuss this from the offensive perspective. But just know, especially some of those later round draft picks, those late seconds, early thirds, like those are incredible spots to draft IDP guys. So those picks could absolutely be used to improve that side of the football. But looking at the offense here, right now, dynasty-wise, we are the number one team. Pete, can we zoom in a tiny bit on this?
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Perfect. All right. Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Anthony Richardson, Kirk Cousins at quarterback. Running back, we have Bijan Robinson, and then not much else after that. Trey Benson, Tyler Algier, Austin Eckler. Wide receivers, Marvin Harrison, Xavier Worthy, Chris Olave, Jamison Williams, Keon Coleman, Xavier Legette, Calvin Ridley. And then tight ends, got some studs at tight end. We've got Brock Bowers and George Kittle. Picks wise, we have 107, 204, 205, 206, and 405. So right off the rip, though, a lot of those seconds could easily be used on defensive players. Now, I don't know what your defense looks like, but I would assume that at least one or two of those picks are going to be used on defense. So let's keep that in mind as we kind of look through this roster here. This team is the number one team as far as total dynasty value goes. When we go to contender mode, let's see where he's at by comparison. We are in second. I'd like to see real quickly that team in first place. What's that team in first place look like? Burrow, Herbert, and then Mixon, Kyron, Chuba, Jefferson, Puka Nacua, T. Higgins. Then what do they have at tight end? Looks like my boy Johnny Smith.
Looks
And
like
then,
they could
but
use
no
George
picks.
Kittle.
No picks there. Oh, we don't want to give him George Kittle. We want him to contend with us. All right. So going back to our team here, really the only area that I would say we are struggling is a second running back.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the only area we're struggling. We have a lot of players at wide receiver, but we don't have a lot of high-end players. It's basically Marvin Harrison and then kind of a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
So that's where this gets tricky. We're very strong at quarterback. We've got two young absolute studs and two other guys that could have value, might not. We're going to kind of have to wait and see as the season goes. So Rich, for you, it feels like this was a team that was maybe a rebuild team that is kind of now ascending to more of the top tier. We've got 107 and a lot of seconds. What's your plan of attack on this?
So this team's interesting. I mean, you have Marvin Harrison. You're hoping he puts together a sophomore superstar year. Chris Olave, you hope he can keep his head on straight. And then Calvin Ridley was a huge draft winner. Him and Jerry Jeudy, massive winners of this draft, right? Like they're easily the number one targets in their offense currently as it stands now. So that is fantastic for him. And having Jamison Williams, so the receiving core is like, again, it's upside, but it's nice. And you're right, he needs a number one running back or another number two running back. And what I'm looking to do here is he's got Brock Bowers, right? And I know it's a super flex, so you probably started flexing there. I am moving, like George Kittle is a huge asset here.
Trade chip.
Like I am trying to move George Kittle and then upgrade either because obviously at 1.7 we could probably get Quinshon Judkins, probably, right? If that's a possibility. But what can we move him for? Like, so in contender mode, who needs a tight end? Let's start there. Because like that's at 1.7, we're taking a running back, right? Like it's pretty set in stone. We're probably gonna get Quinshon Judkins. Honestly, worst case, I'd draft a little high here. I'd take RJ Harvey if I had to, like over. It doesn't make sense because the 8's pretty locked in. Because if Cam Ward slipped, you guys slip. Matt got Cam Ward in our anniversary league today at 1.8 in Superflex. That was unbelievable.
At 1.8?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, he's on a clock. I assume I know he's going to take him, but yeah. So, so this team needs a tight end, right?
The team we're looking at here.
Yes.
So it needs to be a team that is somewhat of a contender. They're not going to be interested.
Yeah, we can't sort this by tight end, Peter. We got to look at this in contender mode with the full rosters.
All right. So looks like, yeah, this team right here, they definitely could use a tight end. They don't really have a true starter at the moment. They also have picks 109, 111, which could be interesting. Let's stick with team 3 for a second.
Okay, sorry.
Scroll back up. So they got 109, 111 as potential trade chips. They definitely have some running backs, and they have 2 running backs that ended up being pretty big winners in this draft in DeAndre Swift. And I don't know if I could say Tyrone Tracy's a winner. He didn't get buried like we thought, but I think eventually he does get buried by Cam Scadaboo. We'll kind of have to see how all that plays out. You're probably not getting an Alvin Kamara from him, though. That's the hard part, is like, if he's a contender, he's not going to want to move those pieces. So we're going to probably have to take a look at, like, do you think, Rich, you could get 111 straight up for George Kittle?
I would come in with a little bit I would overreach it at first, and I would offer him. He's a contender, right? He's going to look at his roster and see he's got a good team,
right?
I would see if I can get Isaiah Likely in 111 for George Kittle. Like, I would offer that. If he's in on like me, like he thinks Isaiah Likely is going to be the starter soon, he'd probably reject that. But I would settle in this format. I would send him 111. I would send him 2 offers so he can see. If he declines both, he says no, that's big. I'd send him 111 and Isaiah Likely, 111 and Isaiah Likely for George Kittle, and then I'd send him 1.9 and George Kittle straight up is what I would send him. Because then I feel like I'm getting Quinshon Judkins, RJ Harvey, kind of both formats. Worst case at 111, I could probably get Caleb Johnson in that category, and then it gives him 3 running backs. He puts him in a good spot. If I get Isaiah Likely, I don't love that. He's got Brock Bowers, and listen, I'm willing to roll with Brock Bowers, and like you're starting Brock Bowers every
week, no matter what,
right? Like it does not matter. So you're going to roll with Brock Bowers. So even if I don't get Isaiah Likely, I'm okay being shallow behind Bowers because it's obviously a deep pool.
Would you
okayness?
Would you try to see if, like, let's say those get rejected, which they could. This is rookie season. People are excited about rookie picks. They could get rejected. Would you try to dangle somebody that you and I don't necessarily have a lot of faith in at this point, but still holds like upside value to people? Like Anthony Richardson, like, okay, I'll toss it Anthony Richardson or something like that to get the deal done.
Does he have Anthony Richardson?
Yeah, our team has Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, I mean, I would counter with that, I guess. Yeah, I'd throw in Richardson in the mix
if it gets rejected.
If it gets rejected, it sucks because that guy's got 3 quarterbacks, but like it might be enough to get it done. Because like, I mean, listen, at this point, does anybody feel confident about Anthony Richardson turning around and having a successful NFL career?
Not really.
Could it happen? Of course, there's probably a 15% chance, but like, I think everybody's assuming Daniel Jones is going to be the starting quarterback in Indianapolis. And once that happens, like, there's no going back. Like, there's no him getting benched twice. You know what I mean? Like, you don't go back to that once it happened. That means they moved on. And at some point, whether it's week 1 or week 6, I assume that's going to happen. So if you look at that, then that would give him, say that happens. Say the guy doesn't. Would you accept 111 straight up? If a guy just comes back, he says, hey, no, but then he offers you 111 straight up for George Kittle.
Yeah, I would do that. I would do 111 straight up for George Kittle.
Yeah, I probably would. I'd probably for this team because if I want to try and take that big step and try and win, I want that 3rd running back.
Yep, and I think that's what you have to get. So I think you and I are in lockstep. I think this wide receiver core is good enough to get it done. You're going to need a solid year out of Xavier Worthy, and then you're going to need either Calvin Ridley or Jamison Williams to like really step up this season. But I think you can get by with this wide receiver core. Obviously,
Yeah.
Brock Bowers gives you an advantage every week, and you had an advantage at quarterback with Jaden Daniels and Drake May almost every single week as well. So it really comes down to, do those young running backs perform, and can your receivers be good enough?
And I believe in Calvin Ridley this year. I think he's a great trade target for contenders for super cheap. Like if you're in your rookie draft this year and you got picked 2-6 and on, and you can offer, again, if you're a contender, say you have like 2-9 somewhere in there, and you can flip that because somebody's real excited when they're on the clock. I'd have no problem flipping that for Calvin Ridley.
He could end up being the type of guy that has a like one last gasp, like Amari Cooper did in Cleveland. You know,
quarterback situations would be way better. I can totally see him catching like 100 balls for 1,300 yards, 100 balls for even like 1,100 yards would be a good year.
Yeah, like 6 or 7 touchdowns.
Yeah, so I think that's gonna be. I think it's a really good spot. He's a player that I would like to go out and get for cheap.
Target on the cheap. Yep.
Yeah, but
totally.
Yeah, I think that's a move for him because there's not a lot of other like. There's no other moves you're making here besides like you're doing addition by subtraction. You know, like, and honestly, with 1.7, if I can flip that for like another good back and move off Quinshon Judkins and get something like more of a proven running back. And maybe like a tight end, you know, or like not a tight end, but like something on top, or like, could I package that? Like, could I package 1.7 for a running back, and then I package a receiver in there possibly, like a James Williams for like a running back and a receiver or something along those lines. Like, I would feel more comfortable getting a proven running back than like Quinshon Judkins on this team. The try and like rely on him to be my championship caliber player, having no idea how this Browns offense is going to look. I mean, listen, they have 2 rookie quarterbacks on there. They have Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and they have 2 running backs they drafted both in the top 4 rounds. So like for me, for this team, if I get not old running back, but say
Kenneth Walker
again, a Kenneth Walker, a Jonathan Taylor, you know what I mean? Like that opens up that door. Can I get that? Maybe I get like a crazy offer. Hey dude, give me 1.7 your first next year. And here's my old running back, and here's a stud young running back. A lot of different. I would at least entertain it.
People are down on Breece Hall. Would that be a target?
I mean, Breece did look like he lost a little bit of burst last year. We don't know how that injury is. Listen. If I had to take Quinshon Judkins or Breece Hall, yeah, I'm taking Breece Hall. I'd gamble that way for sure.
For sure, but depends on how much on top you'd have to give.
Yeah, right. At that point, if I had to give up more for this team, like I'm not interested in like give it up more.
We do have those seconds. Now, like we said, those will probably be IDP players, but we have 2.4, 2.5, 2.6. So we do have seconds to kind of sweeten the pot on some deals if we needed to. But we do need to remember we got to get those IDP pieces.
Yeah, but I mean, the way I understand IDP, like a lot of those guys aren't like big time scorers anyways, unless they're like,
it all depends on the league. That's the hard part.
So he'll know, but if not, again, you're gonna be in position here to get like a tight end. Possibly you're gonna be, if something like Abdul Carter goes down a little bit more, you'll be in a good spot there. So there'll be some good players there. I mean, definitely at receiver, like a Jack Besh, we mentioned a Jaden Higgins would be a nice addition to this team for some upside. But overall, I think the number one move here is just trying to get off Kittle if you can and get another first round pick and attack running back at 7, entertain another player. And I think you're in a good spot.
Kittle get to a 9 or 11.
Yeah. I mean, those quarterbacks, if Drake May takes a step forward, right? Like this year with Stephon Diggs and who they drafted at receiver?
Kyle Williams.
Yeah, and Kyle Williams, if they could take a step forward there with Drake May, and Trevion Henderson obviously will increase the passing production as well. Like this team, those two alone are they can walk you to playoffs with Bijan. You know what I mean? So
yeah, absolutely,
it's in a good spot. You just need that. You need more running backs, and
even at 2.4, you might be able, like Cam could slip to 2.4 in some leagues. Depending on how your league feels about him.
And he has 2.4, 2.5, right?
And 2.6.
Okay, I would also be interested if that doesn't work, the trade. Like, can I package 2.4 and 2.6 to get up into that first and get RJ Harvey? Like, if RJ Harvey falls right around 10, 11, 12, I would be pretty aggressive there. Trying to
you can move up to 2.1, get Caleb Johnson. Like, there's definitely options.
Yeah, exactly.
Available to you.
Like, and that's and Cam's got to be the last guy I'd really want to go and get. But like if I get RJ, like you say, if you come out here with Quinshon Judkins and RJ Harvey, like then you have good. Kittle, and they get so much bonuses. You put Kittle in your flex, which is again be a really good spot. Then we have a huge tight end bonus. He's still in a really good spot. So it's not like if you're trying to win, having Kittle is not like he's got to get off my roster. Like Kittle's one of those few tight ends you can actually put in your flex spot and dominate, because Kittle's probably going to lead that team in receptions at least for minimum probably the first 6 weeks of the season.
Absolutely. All right, Steven, best of luck, my guy. You're on the right path. Guys, I don't know if it always shows up on your screen or not, but I have seen like 15 or so people scanning that QR code. If you want a roster review, that's the way to do it. Scan it right there. Or if you just want a trade question like, hey, should I trade my 201 to get this player? Just give us a little super chat in the chat there, and we'll make sure that we answer that as well. So let's head right over to my guy, Cedric. Cedric has a super flex tight end premium league, 12-team league. You start 11 guys, so pretty decently large starting lineup. This team is currently the 9th place team in Dynasty mode, but in contender mode, where are we at, Pete? We're 5th, so we're a little bit more on the contender side than we are anything else. But let's look at the actual players here. Baker Mayfield, Dak Prescott, and then no other starters outside of that unless something happens with Captain Kirk. We've got Breece Hall, Josh Jacobs, Chase Brown, one of the big winners of the draft for sure as well. Travis Etienne and Tyler Algier. Wide receivers, Amon-Ra St. Brown, DK Metcalf, Mike Evans, Cooper Kupp, Kayshon Boutte, and then tight ends, we've got Kyle Pitts. Picks-wise, we've got nothing. We don't have anything until pick 411, 412, and 511.
All right,
so
we'll see them in contender mode then, because this is Dynasty mode is going to be low. They're 5th? Okay, yeah.
They're 5th.
That's what it was.
Yep. So, Rich, basically what we're doing right now is we're having to kind of make a tough decision, because this team does have their 26 first.
Mm-hmm.
So with a team like this, you have some good names: Amon-Ra St. Brown, Breece Hall, Mike Evans, DK Metcalf. Like, you have some names and you have a shot at it, but you know that there's at least one team that is significantly better than you, and there's other teams that are moderately better than you. With these players, are you trying to push all in to win this year, or are you using a lot of big name value to maybe get some draft capital and maybe do a mini rebuild? What direction would you take this?
I'm going to go for it. I think this team is good enough. It's old. Like, this is like, it'd be a process breakdown, right? Because like they're all like Cooper Kupp and Mike Evans. You can only you're only trading them in season when they have the most value, right? When they're actually putting up productions. Cooper Kupp maybe has value right now. Probably not, as much value you're going to get. You have your own first. So even if I think you break it down, you'd still be stuck with a couple of guys that like you're not going to end up with 1-1. It's a weak draft class next year. What I'm doing is I'm going to use my 26 first in season to solidify my piece of like whatever I need. It's probably going to be a running back, a third running back
first.
Does it have?
They don't have their 26 first? Oh, I thought they did.
Oh, okay.
Jeez.
Yeah,
all right, then they have to go all in.
Yeah, you go back up, Peter, then do his team.
Good catch, Pete.
It's Superflex tight end premium. Yeah, you have no. I mean, listen, you have depth. I didn't even see I forgot the Breece Hall thing there. You're like, this team's fine. I'm like, again, when you want roster rescue, if you're paying for advice what to do with your roster. My advice here is like you've made this bed, right? This is what you've made. I'm sure you used a lot of those first to acquire those players, and this is your championship. This is your championship run. This is what you're running with, and unfortunately, like, you really got to hope Mike Evans and Cooper Kupp play next year. And I don't know how productive they're going to be in 2026, but next year will be the year you're going to start unloading most likely, because this is a very short run window here. If anytime you start, like, if injuries pop up, then you're going to start unloading picks, because it doesn't matter. You have your pick. You're going to try and get more 27 draft capital. Then you're going to start unloading everybody except for pretty much Amon-Ra St. Brown. But even Amon-Ra will still be available.
Can we see the number one team? I'm just out of curiosity real quick. I want to see who they got. Daniels, Burrow, Nix, Darnold, Henry, Connor, Tracy, Spears. Okay, go down. CD
Oh, this
Drake,
seems very beatable, dude.
Day,
Yeah, very
and
beatable.
Johnny Smith. Yeah. So that's the thing. Like all of these teams, he has such a high number because of all of his quarterbacks, but he can only start 2. And so
Yeah.
that's why his number's a little bit inflated because of that.
Yep.
If you can get short-term production out of Dak Prescott and Baker Mayfield, if they can play to some of their ceiling seasons, we've seen Baker Mayfield be inside the top 6. We've seen Drake May be inside the top 3. Like we've seen this out of these guys. If they can have those types of, if they can have those types of seasons, you're going to have a shot. You're going to have
I like our team. I like Cedric's team better than the number 1 team, to be honest with you.
Outside of quarterback.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah, you push. You're
push
in it.
For
you're
it
in it
because the number 3 team has no running backs. They have no running backs at all. So
the number 2
that's
team's
another
running
one.
backs. The number 1 team's running back situation kind of shitty, to be honest with you. It's not that great.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah, he's got Derrick Henry, who literally he's old. He can break down at any time. James Conner's old. He can break down at any time. They're nice and they're really good. They're probably going to produce. And Tyrone Tracy's your third. Like you're relying on Tyrone Tracy and Tajay Spears is your third. There's one injury to one of those running backs. This guy's toast, right? Like toast.
Yeah.
One of those top guys. So
this is the nice part about, like, I really wish we did have our 26 first, but this is the nice part about this roster because we can. I think the biggest takeaway for me is I'm not making drastic moves right now.
No.
I'm taking this team into the season. And then in season, I want to see where am I at week 7? Where am I at week 6? Where am I at week 8? Like in that range, if I'm balling, if I'm 6-2, well, let's trade some other small things and get myself the starting roster to win it all because it's within reach. But if I'm going in there and I am 3-5 and I'm like, crap, this is just not going to happen. It's going to suck not having your first, but then you can offload guys that are only going to have just a short-term value like Mike Evans, like Cooper Kupp, because with how close this league is at the top, there are going to be people that will need those players to win.
Yeah.
So you can go into the season and kind of let what happens the first 7-8 weeks of the season dictate the direction that you go.
I think he'll be fine. I think he's a true legit contender. So I think the move here for Cedric is go in 2026, compete. You got the depth to compete. You can manage an injury here and there, unlike Team 1. And then this offseason, I'm not even trying to get back into 26 draft at all.
27.
This offseason, Cedric, I am moving a lot of those players. A lot. Amon-Ra St. Brown's obviously a cornerstone. But even he's going to be movable a little bit. So I am going to go ahead and start moving those guys. I'm going to unload my running backs for Hall. I'm going to try and get a whole bunch of 27 capital. And then I'm going to reset. Because unfortunately, you're going to have to, and you want to jump on it as quick as possible because your receivers are too old for anything.
Go back to our team.
Yeah, I mean, your receivers are too old. So you do need to get ahead of it because you're not going to be able to trade for any running back without tearing it down. Josh Jacobs, you should get a good haul for. Chase Brown, hopefully you should be able to get a haul for. And then Breece Hall, you hold on to. And if you don't hold on to him, if you can't get a good deal for him, we'll know more about Breece Hall's value by the end of the year. And then if Mike Evans has another really good year, maybe you can get a 20. Like maybe you can package Cooper Kupp and Mike Evans for a 27 first. Because remember, it's gonna be way easier for a year ahead. But I'm telling everybody right now. I've been saying this for a while on this show and the Nerds podcast. Like the 27 draft class is going to be sexy, right?
Yep.
So right now, significantly over 26. Those picks are going to get harder and harder to come by. It's why I started a couple months ago acquiring them, and I've done a really good job. I got 2 27 firsts in almost 90% of my leagues right now.
Yeah, and it was interesting.
Another trade go down today for one, Garrett. Blindly
Did
accepted.
you really?
Yeah,
nice.
Well, because a lot of people don't log into Sleeper until it's rookie draft season. Lock in. A guy who I sent an offer to, it was just sitting there and he accepted it. I was like, oh, surprise. I didn't even know I sent you that one. You know what I mean?
Well, and it was interesting. I saw on Twitter an anonymous scout. You know, you always get these anonymous scouts, but an anonymous scout said, because the caption up top was like, for the first time ever, next year doesn't look better than this year. And it was an anonymous scout talking specifically about the receivers, but alluding to the draft in general. Like right now, there are guys with traits in the next class, but we see very little production. We see very little ideal players. There'll be guys that pop, but this is not a season where I'm overly excited going into 2026 about that draft class. So now we're starting to hear not just us in the Dynasty community and like, I don't want to like pat myself on the back, but like, that's why I did that 26, like too early 26 draft video back in February or whatever it was. Like, that's why you do those things, because now you're ahead of the curve. Like, now you're ahead of all your other league mates. And once they figure out that draft is like, there's only like 3 or 4 guys. Dang it. This sucks. Like, that's going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why I just want to say that, because you're going to hear us on these shows. You're going to hear us on the podcast. We're going to be talking about it a lot. You're going to constantly hear us reference get 27 picks over 26. And the reason why is, like, again, you're talking most likely Arch Manning for Superflex leagues. There'll be another stud quarterback, I promise you, and Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith, like generational, like true generational talents. So like when Jeremiah Smith comes out, he might be the number 1 receiver of all time, like over Calvin Johnson and those guys. So for me, like, you know, in my oldest league, something I've never done. It's 22-year-old league, right? Never done this. I've never blown up my team to the bones ever. I've been consistent in the playoffs for 22 years for the most part. Or if I don't make the playoffs because of injury, after this year, I'm tearing that team down to the literal studs to make sure there's 0 chance that I don't have the 1-1 to get Jeremiah Smith. 0% chance. So I'm loading everybody. And it's to the point of, like, I'll take the bet. Like, if the best offer is a 5th for Saquon Barkley, then so be it. Obviously, I know that's not going to be the truth, you know, and I don't have to worry because these guys don't watch my shows because they've been playing guys for 22 years. That's what I'm going to do. So, all right, what's the next roster we got here, boys?
Peter, what do we got? Do you want me to go to the? I think you're muted, Pete. All right,
answer this question.
All right, perfect. Super chat here. Thank you, Jabril. Appreciate you, homie. My super flex draft starting in 5 minutes. I'm at 109, and my QBs are
Justin
JF.
Fields.
So I'm guessing Justin Fields.
Yep.
Okay. JJ McCarthy, Derek Carr, LOL. Help me. I think this is real easy. If Jackson Dart is there, you're taking Jackson Dart.
And if I had to guess, Tyler Shuck could be there at 2.9 if you have your second, and then you take Tyler Shuck to back up Derek Carr.
I have no problem with that.
Easy peasy. Yeah, Jackson Dart, he should be there. The earliest I've seen him go is 1.9 so far. And that was in an industry league, mind you, too. So I think Jackson Dart should be there for you.
Okay.
Unless you live in New York, the New York area. That's the case. Worst case, you take best player available. If you have your second, you're taking Tyler Shuck because you have Derek Carr. So that's like a great fit for you and good value.
And if you find out, like, hey, the guy at 108 really wants him, okay, see what it's going to take to move up one spot. Just see what the cost is. You might want something outrageous. He might just be like, hey, give me your pick 207. Okay.
Yeah. And if you feel like you're a contender, you know, at 1.9, you're a playoff team, maybe you could move 1.9 for Baker Mayfield, you know, something on those lines.
That's not a bad idea.
Baker Mayfield would be a good grab. Some people might be willing to do that. I would be interested in like a proven asset around there as well. Who's not, you know, maybe again, do I have to give 1.9, 2.9 for Dak Prescott? Possibly. Like, I don't want to overly extend myself, but like, I think you might be able to get it. Again, remember everybody, your rookie pick right now is worth the most it's ever going to be right now. People are going to see on these clocks. They're going to see RJ Harvey. They're going to see Emeka Buka. They're going to see Caleb Johnson. They're going to be like, oh, I need this guy. This is my guy all along, and now I have a chance to get him. He's skyrocketed up. So, yep.
All right, Chase hit us up with a trade question too on the super chat. That's what we're moving to, people. If you want to get your trade questions answered, don't worry about scanning the QR code. That's only for nukes and for roster rescues. He has a trade question. I have May, Murray, Cousins, Milrow, Barkley, Chan, Jacobs, Connor, Hampton, Neighbors, AJ Brown, Hunter, Hill, Jennings, Andrews, Ingram, Ben Sinnott. Should I move one of my running backs and upgrade at another position? So right now, Barkley, Chan, Jacobs, Connor, Hampton. So 5 really, really good running backs. Rich, would you move one of those guys to maybe get him another receiver or something like that?
Not now. He's got, I mean, his receiver, AJ Brown. Is that Travis Hunter?
Probably because he has Hampton. So I'm guessing that means that he He's done his draft.
Let's say that's Hunter.
Yeah, so he's got Malik Neighbors, AJ Brown, Travis Hunter, and Tyreek Hill, and Jennings in the back end. I mean, if anything, I'd like to upgrade my tight end position. I can't. Even then, Egram and Andrews is fine.
I'll say Egram has a really high ceiling this season.
Yeah, real side. For me, what I'm doing, I am moving those running backs, and maybe it will be to upgrade my position. Listen, you're moving the running backs. You're just not going to do it now.
In season when people are desperate.
Yeah, listen, those are having Hampton in your back pocket is so fantastic. What that's going to probably do is you're going to be in position if you want to, like you might be able to upgrade massively, right? Like if say Barkley, Achane, and Hampton all produce like we want them to, they might open the door for you to then move like Andrews and one of those guys for like Brock Bowers. Because you have an elite team. So I'm trying to make a super team here.
Absolutely.
I would honestly, is this super flex league? Do we know that?
I would assume so. Okay. With having May and Murray.
If it's super flex, I would also be interested in like strengthen up my quarterback position as well as some of those running backs. But if those guys hit, the running back desperation come for playoff teams, that's a stinky cologne, right? They get real desperate. And what you are going to
smell them a mile away.
Yeah, and you're going to have 3 what I consider elite assets, which are, obviously Barkley's not young, but he's elite. And then Achane and Hampton. And listen, Josh Jacobs is an RB1. He's been an RB1 every year of his career except for pretty much 1 year. So even if it's like, if I can like package Jacobs and Connor and keep those 3 for 27 first, like maybe I'll do that at one point. Jacob is probably worth a little bit more than a 27 first.
Wow. All right.
Okay.
So
let me. Can I break in here really fast?
Sure.
So number 1, usually these shows are 2 hours, but Rich is heading out around 2, but Taylor's coming in after 2 because we're getting a lot of roster reviews or rescues, as they say. So we're doing that. So if you're still wanting to get a roster review,
and you're like, oh man, we might be running out of time.
Yeah, this is the most important day for a lot of you guys, so we want to hammer this home. But
we're back Wednesday.
Also,
got a nuke. All right, whose team is this here? Gabe. Oh, Dynasty. Is this the Trade Addicts League? Okay, so Rich, we've done a league before that you've been in. Now we're doing one that I am in. All right, so we have here, this is a super flex tight end premium league. His team here, Kenny Pickett at quarterback. So we don't got a lot of quarterback. But we have Jonathan Brooks, Rashad White, Jerome Ford at running back, so not a lot there. However, wide receivers, Justin Jefferson, Rashee Rice, Jalen McMillan, Jalen Colker, Jalen Polk. Tight ends, we have Brock Bowers and Cole Kmet. But then he has a lot of picks, 102, 105, 107, and then he's got some 26 firsts and some 2027 firsts to go along with 202 and 208 this season. So my guy, Gabe, let's take a look at what we're going to do. So dynasty-wise, he's in 3rd, but contender-wise, he's in 10th. So
how's he not in last? Justin Jefferson and Brock Bowers are just high enough in scores.
They're carrying the team, baby.
Yeah, because listen, Brock is staying. Justin Jefferson can go.
All right. So a few things with this team. Well, actually, Rich, it would probably be better for you because I'm biased in this. So I'll let you lead the way on this. Like, what direction would you take this?
I would first of all, a lot of those 26 first, like I'm either using those to get back in this draft, or I'm trying to pivot off of those again. Like I said, get some more of those 27 picks for this team. You want to keep some of them. Obviously, you're going to keep yours. And anything else is going to be anything that's going to be top 6, I'd probably be interested in holding on to. Anything that's outside of that, I would 100% just flip to anybody for a 27 pick. Just to let you know, he has no quarterback. That's the first massive hole he's got. So you've got Justin Jefferson. And you got all these picks. He's got what picks again? 1, 2. He's got 1, 5,
105, 107.
and 102.
Yep.
And then 202.
And 202.
And 202.
So what I would love to do is I would love to move back from 102 if I could, for somebody that really wants a Mario and Hampton, or somebody wants Travis Hunter. Because I would, in this situation, I would take. Well, you're gonna have to take Cam Ward the way it stands right now at 2, in my opinion.
Would you risk moving back, because then somebody could snatch Cam Ward at 2 or 3?
Yeah, but that's the thing. I'm okay. Like, I'm okay to move. Like, since you have 105, like I would just see if I can grab. If I'm okay moving back to like 104 and hoping Cam Ward's there. If not, I would settle for this team, Ted McMillan. You know, I would settle for Trevian Henderson, because I'm still taking probably one of those guys where I could trade him in season. But right out the gate, I mean, I put this in contender mode. Yeah, let's look at the first team. Let's look at it. I'm finding, for me, Garrett, I don't know about you, but like I'm finding a path to move. Okay, he doesn't have quarterbacks here. Damn, like he doesn't have even a quarterback to move, because like Justin Jefferson could possibly open the door for Jade. Like, hey, here's Justin Jefferson and a first. Can I get Jaden Daniels? You know, like that's not an option for him here on this team. So this team doesn't help you at all. I'm just saying there's any path right away for a quarterback.
All right, let's look through some of the other quarterbacks, Pete. What are the other teams with? We've got Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert.
Nobody.
Bo Nix, Justin Fields, Derek Carr, Russell Wilson. Mahomes, Baker, Richardson. Jordan Love, Dak Prescott, Geno Smith. Lamar, Goff, Tua. That could be a team that.
Team 9 is insane. Oh, no, it's not. It should be. Man, because they just have Hurts. Okay.
Go back. Look back. One more. No, go to team 6. This is going to be our best bet.
They've got 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah. So what else does he have here? What could we get for
He has no picks.
He's got no picks. And
but he has Nico.
And that's what I'm saying.
You think you could get Tua and Nico for Justin? And would you do it? Or would you feel better if you would try to go after Goff, since his job's maybe slightly more secure, even though he's a hair older?
No, I don't want. He's too old for me for this team. This team's a 2027 step forward team.
Is like he's 30? Like you're still going to have him for how long?
Yeah, but if I'm moving Justin Jefferson, I need a little bit more. And listen, Tua's not that either. But like, if I could get, he's got no running backs at all either, right?
No, it's all receivers and tight end for him.
Yeah, he's got nothing to offer on top of because I'd rather like. Can I get Tua? Would you be okay with Tua and Nico for Justin Jefferson? Because I don't think I would.
I would be okay with. Be okay with Goff
over Tua.
I would take Goff over Tua. I think that would be close. I'd ask for more, but I think if I was pressed, it's tough. But it's just so hard to get a quarterback without giving a quarterback back. Justin Jefferson's one of your few opportunities to do it.
Okay, know what I would do? You know what I would do here? Because again, I don't think there's a path for that either. It seems so. He's got his draft capital. First thing I would do is I would offer Justin Jefferson for Malik Neighbors in like a second, and to see if that gets it done. I'm just trying to get young. You know what I mean? I'm just going to try and get a couple years younger here, and gamble on the upside of that. Because again, by the time you compete, Jefferson won't be old, but he'll probably be like 28 years old. So you're gonna like it shortens your window. At least Malik Neighbors, if you do this right with all your draft picks, is going to open that window. So I would see if like I could offer Justin Jefferson for Malik Neighbors and like somebody's second. Even if it's 27, like if it's a high second this year, that'd be sweet. If not, I'd take a 27 second.
So Gabe did ask us. He said there's an offer on the table to trade his 102 and 105 to get 103 and 104. Would you do that and just kind of cross your fingers that Cam Ward doesn't go at 102? Or like some owners are open. Like, hey, I'm open to doing this, but like, what's your plans with 102? Because I have a specific plan, and for this trade to work for me, I got to make sure that I can still get who I want. Like,
listen, Hold on, no. I would guarantee if that guy's offering that, he wants either Hampton or Hunter.
I'm
Like
guessing so.
Yeah, I would. Otherwise, he's like, oh, I'd probably get Cam. I could get Cam Ward at 3, possibly. Now, he also might see his roster and like, dude, he needs a quarterback. He's taking Cam Ward.
Yeah, what team is it? What team is it? I'd be curious to see, because if we look at his roster, we could probably see. So, Gabe, if you're listening, what team offered that? Because then we can kind of, do a little detective work and see. Actually, yeah, I guess we could look in here and see who has 103, 104. Probably one of the lower teams. There it is. Okay, so what does this team have?
The quarterback.
They are a rebuilding team, but they have Drake May, Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
they're good.
Yeah,
he's going to do it.
He's taking Martin Hampton. Yeah, take that. And then you're taking Cam Ward and Travis Hunter if he takes Martin Hampton. If not, you're taking Martin Hampton and Travis Hunter.
Cam Ward.
Or Cam Ward, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, you 100%. Accept that right away. Smash it.
I like that deal.
It gives you one step closer to get one of those, like,
you have a quarterback now at least.
Yeah, so he's taking Hampton. He's probably taking Hampton, or he's taking Travis Hunter, right? And you're just taking Cam Ward and whoever he doesn't take.
All right. Real quick, side note, we're going to finish this. We're not done yet on this one. But if you want Rich to be a part of your roster rescue, you would have to nuke at this point. Now, we have plenty. If you just want to do a regular one, I'm going to be here for a while. Taylor's going to come in. But if you're like, I like that Rich Dotson, no G at the end of his word thing, I got to make sure he's here for it. You would have to do a nuke at this point to make that happen. So, yeah. Gabe, yes, do the trade to get 103 and 104.
What other picks do we have here? So after that, let's go back down. What picks on our team? What picks do we have?
Are you guys good to do a mock really fast?
Hold on. Yeah. So
we could mock them 102, 105, 107.
So then it gives us 1-3, 1-4, 1-7, 2-2, and 208. Okay.
Actually, should I input the picks that if he did that trade?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
So,
because he said it's in his
mock
inbox.
It.
That's an easy trade for me. You don't lose. I mean, you probably can end up getting the same guys regardless, but I'd rather be for sure for something like that.
Well, and that's the nice part is you would probably really be wanting to take Ward at 2, but now you got to move up your other pick one spot and still get the same guy you wanted.
Yep.
So it's worth it.
He has the 102, 104, 103,
107,
107, 202, and 208.
Not that's just 202. Not 203?
No.
I think it's just 202 and 208.
Okay.
Given up. Okay. What does that mean?
I just gave it up.
Oh,
I gave up. Okay.
All right.
Yep.
So in this scenario, Travis Hunter goes 102. That's the dream scenario for you, I think. You get Hampton and Ward. My guess, if I had to guess, now it is a rebuilding team, so that could be the move. My guess is he's moving up for Hampton, not for Hunter.
I would hope so, because my dream move is getting Hunter and Cam Ward for that team. I would rather have that personally.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, here it's still saying you're taking Hampton and Cam Ward. Easy peasy.
Yep. I think it's a smash either way. You're in great shape to get 2 guys for you. Like, that's your tier, Rich. When you're talking about 102, 103, 104, you basically got to move one more pick into that tier as opposed to the next tier.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, like, the only reason I'm doing it because I know I'm getting Cam Ward, who I'm taking at 1-2 anyways. Like, I'd be totally comfortable getting Trevian Henderson. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, 1-5, yeah.
I still like Trevian. I mean, listen, Trevian Henderson. I mean, Martin Hampton's a 1-2. I'll consent to that. Like, I'll give that. I would take him 1-2. But it would not surprise me in the least bit if Trevian Henderson's a better fantasy football running back than Martin Hampton. So, like, I could be totally fine at 1-5 getting Trevian Henderson. That's my tier. Those top 5 guys.
Jose just said this, and I totally agree with it. If somehow Dart is still available at 111, possibly trading the 202 and the 208 to come up and get Jackson Dart, would you feel comfortable with that? Because I would.
Yeah, really. I would offer, if he falls in that range, I would offer I would try and get out of that, like one of those 26 first and something out, like maybe like I would rather keep let me put it this way. I'd rather keep 202, but I would have no problem in that 111 range, 112. Like I wouldn't mind offering my the lowest second I have, or the lowest 26 first I have. Whoever's the best team, that's probably gonna be a late first. I'd have no problem offering that 208 and that late 26 first to go up and get Jackson Dart.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
As well.
So confirming 103 is
Cam Ward.
Cam Ward. And then,
and
Omari
then 104
Hampton.
is Hampton. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Or really whatever order. It doesn't matter. But 107 is the interesting one. 107 is the interesting one. What are you doing with this pick? I would lean because Tet hasn't gone, right?
He did at 105.
He did go. Okay. We have Bowers.
Yeah, I'm trying to move back here, man.
I'm trying to move back too, honestly. I think I'm with you. Not anything against Quinshon. I love Quinshon. I think he's going to be a great player. And we do need running backs, but I don't think this is a 1-year fix, which is why I'm not as apt to do it. But he has those extra 26 firsts.
Yeah.
So you have a few different options. So you're going to try. Oh, you're going to try to move up to 106, so that way you have the choice between Henderson and McMillan. Yeah, I have no problem.
Yeah, I think that's the real move to do, because again, that's the end of my tier, right? That's what I would call my elite tier. You know what I mean? Like that I feel really good about. Like I feel really confident about everybody up to this point. Everybody else I feel like comes with a little, like obviously tight ends. You want those guys. Quinshon Judkins, I mentioned him earlier, how I feel about him, but I like that pick there. It doesn't fit your structure here, what you want to do. So if you can move up, that'd be great.
For the mock, though, should we just take Quinshon if we were forced to make a pick? That'd probably be it, right?
I would.
It's just best available.
It's premium too. I don't know if you guys mentioned.
But we have Brock Bowers.
Yeah, we have Brock Bowers.
Value though, I don't know.
I would take Quinshon Judkins in tight end Premier Leagues over both those tight ends.
Yeah, I think it's Quinshon.
Yeah, and you're looking to flip Quinshon, honestly, in season.
All right, so then that puts us on the clock. So as we can see, Jackson Dart went at 110 or no 111. So
that's right around the range he's going to go to, and that's the range you want to get back up to from 2-2. So you definitely probably want to move to like 110 if you possibly can with those 2 seconds.
Yep. Or your 26 first. You have an extra 26 first. I want to keep my own because I don't think we're in a spot where we're quite competing yet. But so I want to keep my own 26 first. But I'm willing to trade the other one. And if somebody's like, man, I'm here at 110 or 111, and I'll trade for the 26 first just on the odds that it's a higher pick next year than the 110, 111 this year. Like some people will do that.
Yeah, I agree. So 2-2, you're taking either Jaden Higgins or Matthew Golden.
Higgins for me personally.
Yeah, it's for me personally too. Higgins.
Okay. And honestly, I think I'm close between Golden and Besh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to go Jack Besh here, I'd have no problem with that. Yeah,
I think it's Higgins though. That's my pick.
Higgins was second pick in the second round.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean that's really good draft capital. I know talking draft capital. I know Matthew Golden's a first rounder, and that's fine. So
Harvey's still available. I know he won't be there, so we're not gonna.
Yeah, we're not
gonna take him.
So we would assume Jalen Noel would be there because
would you take Shuck?
Yeah, I would. 100%. This guy needs quarter. He needs his main. He would take Shuck, and then whatever third rounder I had, I'd take Sanders or Gabriel. You know what I mean? Like whoever's got it,
or Milrow.
Yeah, I'm gambling, right? Like I'm gambling here. Like I'm taking Tyler Shuck. So what QBs are available? First of all, who's available?
Oh, Bash is still available.
He won't be available.
I have seen him drop to the third before.
Have you really?
Mocks. Yeah.
Okay, then take Besh. I mean, that's a dream. If I can get Jack Besh anywhere after 2-6, it's a dream.
Yeah. If not, I'm taking. If he's not there, all these other guys, like I'm not. I'm probably taking whatever quarterback I can gamble on. In the fourth, I'm taking Will Howard. I'm taking Will Howard in the fourth. There's a path for him in Pittsburgh.
Okay, here we go. Live trade offer. Someone just offered me Hurts for Jefferson straight up.
Yes.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yes.
And I'm not even like a Hurts stan,
No.
but it's an absolute yes.
Yeah, for your team, yes. Because that change. Because honestly, getting Hurts now, you don't have to move up for Jackson Dart, right?
And you could also sit pat at 102. You don't have to do the
Yeah.
102 like move back. Now you could take Hampton.
Okay. Here's what I would do then for this team. If I move off of accept that offer, right? I'm pivoting here, Garrett.
Yeah,
I'm not taking Cam Ward.
No,
I'm
keeping 102 and I'm taking Omar and Hampton.
No. Well, you're getting Hampton anyways. I'm still making that deal.
You're still
making that deal. Yeah, I'm still making that deal. Okay. If he takes Hampton, I'm taking Hunter, right? If he takes Hunter, I'm taking Hampton. I'm moving off Cam Ward, and I'm taking Tet McMillan.
I would still want to take Cam Ward as my second quarterback if I'm there.
No, because I'm trying to
second quarterback.
And I'm trying to trade up for Jackson Dart still. Then I'd still do that.
I'd be fine with that, but I think I would rather have the security. Like, I like Dart, but that whole New York situation is a mess.
Yeah, you're right. Cam Ward's pretty insulated.
I think I would still. The more I think about it, actually, I would still just make both trades. I'm taking Hurts, and then I'm taking Cam Ward and whoever else is there with Cam Ward at 4.
So his quarterbacks would be Cam Ward and
Jalen
Hurts.
Yep.
We're not trading up for Dart still, or are we?
No, probably not.
If we're taking Ward, I'm not. But if he's there, if the value's there, sure. But I'm not like being overly aggressive.
But like our receiver room is bare at that point, and I'm using as many of those 26 firsts to like here. Okay, here's guys. Let me put it this way: when you get to the second, right, 2-1, 2-2 range, if somebody has a really late first, like again, somebody like say Garrett is almost like Garrett and Peter are almost like guaranteed to be in the championship. Their teams are that good, right? And I have both their first. I would have no problem at that 2-1, 2-2, 2-3 range of offering those first to get Jaden Higgins, Jack Besh, and Matthew Golden. Does that make sense?
And just build up some young upside receivers.
Because this next year is going to be imagine like that's a late first in this deep class. Where would those receivers stand in the next draft, right? Probably right around that 111, 112 range if it's a weak receiver class. And that's his biggest need. I like Jack Besh in Las Vegas. I like Jaden Higgins in Houston. Like, I have no problem giving up a very late first, or maybe those first in season get you a receiver. Maybe, you're going to have to be open to trading Jalen Hurts for another quarterback possibly, and a receiver back. You know what I mean?
And now at 1-7, getting Quinshawn looks a lot better too, because now your quarterback situation is taken care of with Cam Ward and Jalen Hurts.
You have no receivers.
You have no receivers, and you're going to have to make that work. But you could always trade back if you have the opportunity to trade back and get whatever receiver you can get as you trade back. So,
I mean, here's the thing: you're going to have Quinshawn Junkins and Martin Hampton. You're going to be like when those guys are starting to do well, you're looking to move those guys possibly.
Yeah.
For receivers, again, I just want to lose a lot of those 26 first and kind of get off of and get back in this draft a little bit.
Don't offer them to me though. I ain't taking them.
So really fast, just practically speaking, we did the Hurts trade. We have Cam Ward. Is Shuck? Man, it's my user.
I'm not taking Shuck now.
So are you going Mason Taylor?
I'd go Mason Taylor. Trey Harris isn't a bad gamble though. Kyle Williams there if he's available isn't a bad gamble.
Besh if he's there.
Jack Besh, obviously.
I mean, Besh, that's a slam dunk home run. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Okay.
I have no problem with upside guys like Tootin, Aurora. I would be ceiling at pick 3.
But going back up to the beginning of the draft here, please. Yeah, I am. If Trevian Henderson goes, let's say Trevian Henderson goes 1-5 instead of Tet McMillan, I am aggressively. Like I am trying to
get up to 1-6.
Yeah, I'm trying to move all and I'm offering 1-7. Like here's 2-8 and 1-7 to get like 10. You know what I mean? Like I would try desperately to do something like that.
And for some people, like depending on where their tiers are, that might get done.
Yeah, because then I feel really good. Cam Ward, Hampton, Tet McMillan with all those first next year, and then Jalen Hurts, like Brock Bowers. Like I feel really good about that base. Compared to having Hampton and Judkins. Like I want Tet there. So like if I can move up one spot, And honestly, if I can move up one spot anyways just to get Henderson, I do, because I think Henderson will be able to get you back a young receiver that you want. Like, I think he's going to be that good. So
Perfect. All right, let's
I
get
would do
to Gabriel. Best of luck, unless you're playing me. Let's get to Jake's question here, right? His trade question.
Yep.
Says 12-team, 1 QB contender. Dak, JJ McCarthy, and Purdy at quarterback, but the league overvalues quarterback. Do I roll with these guys or overpay for a stud? For me, this is an easy, like, sit pat. If your league is going to overpay for a quarterback and 1 QB, let them. Like, let them. Because I'm not trying to overpay for somebody unless I can get a truly elite player like a Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels. And chances are they're not giving them up, especially if the league overvalues quarterback. So stick with a Brock Purdy, stick with a Dak Prescott. They're going to be somewhere in the top 10 to 12 like they are almost every year, and you're going to be in a great spot. So I would not overpay for quarterback.
Yeah, and I believe in JJ McCarthy too. I think he's gonna thrive.
Good upside player.
Yeah. So like, I wouldn't overpay for a stud. 1 QB, like that's like you said.
No,
that's the
last thing I want to overpay for.
I want Jaden Daniels or Josh Allen. And that's it. And like I said, if they overvalue him, you're not getting those guys anyways.
No.
But if you could package 2 of those guys, I would package any 2 combo that you can of those 2. Well, Dak has to be part of one of those guys. But I would take Dak and JJ or Brock Purdy. If I can get Jaden Daniels or Josh Allen, I would do that.
Sure. All right. Got another one here from Susan. Susan says, receive the 102 and 1012 for Barkley. It was a counter to the 102 and 108. Still have the 107 and 111. My running back room needs depth. So we're basically looking at Omari. Like, let's just put names there. Omari and Hampton, and your favorite running back between RJ Harvey, Caleb Johnson, Cam Scadaboo. Like, would you rather have Hampton in one of those 3, or would you rather have Barkley?
If I'm a contender, I'm keeping Barkley. If I am not, I would obviously take the package, but I assume she needs running back depth. Still have, she has a 1-7 and 1-11. So if you flip to 1-2 and 1-12, right, then you need running back depth. You're hoping Hampton's going to be as good as Barkley. And I got some bad news. They paid Najee Harris. He's getting some carries too. He's not going to be better than Barkley this year. And then at 112, like, you're taking a gamble. I don't think RJ Harvey will be there. Maybe he will be, but I don't think he would. So you're hoping Caleb Johnson falls to you there. Mm-hmm. Cam Scadaboo, like, is that really, when you already have 1-7? This is super flex. You're getting Quinshon Judkins too, so that's your depth, and you have 111. So 112, like, is there a difference between 112 and 111? No, because you're going to get Caleb Johnson or RJ Harvey there. So that doesn't even change as much. Now you can get a lot more depth because you can get hopefully both of those guys, and then Hampton. So you can go in there with Hampton, Judkins, Quinshon, and then Caleb and Harvey, right? That's a lot of depth. Me personally, if I'm a contender, I would, because she says in 111. So I'm assuming she's a contender, right? Because she wants depth at running back that says you're a contender. I'm assuming the 111 sure pick. I would much rather have Barkley and then take running backs at 1-7 and 111, and that's your depth.
Yeah. Yep,
so Quinshon Judkins at 1-7, and then at 111, you're taking you're hoping RJ Harvey falls. If he doesn't, Caleb Johnson.
I know our guy Dane is around here a lot. He says, how do we feel about this draft, fellas? 107 got Henderson, got 108 at Judkins, and Mason Taylor at 302, 306 Shuck, and 406 Jordan James. I think that's a great draft.
That's better than great. You got Henderson at 1-7? Like, what happened?
Yeah. You got value on both of those players.
Yeah, that's a massive win.
And Mason Taylor at 302. If this is tight end premium, that's stealing.
Okay, sweet. This is Eli's team. He did mention that he wanted a mock draft done too, but let's just go over it first. And
absolutely. All right, super flex, tight end premium. We have CJ Stroud, Brock Purdy, and then nothing else at quarterback. We have Jahmyr Gibbs, Devon Achane, Jalen Wright, Tank Bigsby. At receiver, we have Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, Ricky Pearsall, Wandale Robinson. Then at tight end, we have Tucker. Whoa, that got big.
Sorry, I was.
Oh, you're good. Tucker Kraft, Mike Gesicki. At draft pick wise, we've got the 101, the 103, and the 106 to go along with several second round picks, 203, 204, 209, and even 301 to boot. So lots of draft capital here. Right now, we are the number one team. Bravo, by the way. Number one team in Dynasty mode. Contender mode, we're down at ninth. So there's a big gap between all of our value, which is tied up a lot in picks right now. We have a big varying levels here. However, you're not far away from the other teams in contender, even without the picks having any value, because right now, all those draft picks are worth 0 in contender mode. The second there's a name to them, now they have value.
Yeah,
so
his team's going to skyrocket after this draft here. We get done with this.
Absolutely. So let's do the mock first. 101 Ashton Genty, congratulations, you're now a contender. Right? Like it's that easy.
Yep.
Right away, you're a contender.
Travis Hunter here, easy pick for me.
I think so too. Although I would say we only have 2 quarterbacks, and I don't love either one of them. But it's for me, it's truly who's the highest on your board. Like who's the best available player. If you think that's Hunter, I'm fine with it. If you think that's Ward, I'm fine with it.
I like his quarterbacks. He had Brock Purdy, and who's his other quarterback?
C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud got a boost after this weekend.
Yeah,
I will say that.
Yeah, so, I don't love CJ either, but find enough where I don't have to reach for. Like, he needs that third receiver is what he needs, and that gives him a chance to give him after he has Ashton Genty, his running back core is the best in the league. It's unbelievably dominant. Jameer Gibbs, Devon Achane, and Genty. His quarterbacks are good enough. He has Malik Neighbors. Was Brian Thomas his other receiver?
Yep. So only 2 really receivers right now.
Well, hold on. So we have to consider that too. He's got Brian Thomas.
Oh, they're going to be.
Do we want Brian Thomas and Travis Hunter? I'm okay with it. Listen, I can rock with it, but boy, those are like situations I don't love. It's
I'm taking the best available player.
Yeah, me too.
And if you think that's Travis Hunter, I'm taking him. If you need to make a trade afterward, you're like, hey guys, I got both these receivers.
Yeah, I agree.
Really fast.
Or trade 1-3 for a contending wide receiver.
102 is taking Ward. So does that change anything?
Oh. Well, shoot. I think you have to take Hampton then.
And he's also thinking about trading back from 103 and
what's the offer?
106. Eli, I know you're in the chat. Maybe
I'm keeping 106,
but
I'm probably. I mean, it depends what it is, but like
you're at 105.
What's that?
Who went at 105 in this? Oh, Ward did. So basically, we're just bumping him up. So that means Tet's still available for us at 106. If that's a scenario, I'm not moving back. I need Tet McMillan on this team.
Yeah, I'm taking either Tet McMillan or Trevian Henderson, who's there. So that's why I like the 106, because you're getting that last guy in that tier, either Tet or Trevian. If you say Cam Ward, I would probably try to trade out of 1-3 and see if somebody gives me a stupid offer, like for like a receiver. Like,
yeah. What receivers right now would you accept straight up for 103?
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Okay, that's a good one.
I would take. I mean, Travis Hunter's upside so high, but like Jackson Smith, I think
you probably can't get Marvin Harrison Jr. Right?
I would accept Marvin Harrison. Some people might, because I like Travis Hunter more.
I would try it.
Listen, here's the thing. Somebody's going to really want Hampton, or somebody's going to really want Travis Hunter, right? And so if you really want Travis Hunter, you're like, dude, I think Hunter can be better than Harrison. I think Hunter can be better than Jackson.
If Hampton's there's going to be teams that want that running back.
Yeah. So I would be interested in trading out of 1-3, but if not, I would for that team. It just stinks at 1-6. Like, are we getting Henderson or are we getting Tet? Right? Because if we're getting Tet, I'd rather just take Hampton, and if we're getting Henderson, I'd rather take Hunter. You know what I mean? like we don't know. Of course, if he has a good idea of how it's going to go, I would probably for that, because I would love the idea of having Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors, and Travis Hunter. Like, that's
the good news is worst case scenario. Let's say the worst case scenario happens, because we don't know, and we end up taking receivers at both spot. We trade for a receiver at 3, and then we drafted a receiver there at 6. Oh, well, we have Ashton Genty, Devon Achane, and Jameer Gibbs. Like, if we don't get a running back in one of those spots, like, who really cares?
Really? I wonder if you could like even. I would entertain offering 1-1 if somebody offers you something silly.
If you think you can get Omari in at 3,
Well, he said Ward's going
Yeah.
too.
So
So get Amari at 3.
Stroud, Kraft 103 for Herbert, Kincaid, and 105.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would do that.
Yes, please. Remock it. Yeah. Because then you're getting Tet and Henderson.
Yeah, I like that.
Maybe. It depends who goes 1-4. Or you're getting Henderson, or you're getting Travis Hunter and Henderson. But you're upgrading your quarterback significantly.
Yeah, that's a good upgrade at quarterback, and that's worth it to move down the 2 spots.
Yeah, and Kincaid's upside is just as high as Kraft's, if not higher.
I would say similar at this point.
Higher. Come on, hit the Creed music, Peter. Kincaid will
Can
take
you
higher.
take me higher?
Yeah, accept it. Yeah, snap accept. That's a good offer. And I love that's what Stroud can get you. I love that Stroud gets you that. Like that's what Stroud does. And I'd rather have Herbert by a large margin.
A good margin. Yep.
So yeah, and then you get 1-5, and that takes like you let the draft come to you. You no longer have to worry about trading 1-1. You still bring Genty in. So then you're going to have Jahmyr Gibbs, Devon Achane, Ashton Genty, Trevion Henderson. Then you're going to have it takes you off. Hopefully that one like somebody else takes Hunter and kind of takes that away from you. If not, you still take him with Brian Thomas, and you get either Ted McMillan or Henderson. That's a great. And now your quarterbacks are Brock Purdy and Justin Herbert. That's sexy.
Yeah, and I'm still open to the thought of trading, getting myself in that scenario, getting myself Henderson, and then trading the other one, and even pairing it up with something if there's a receiver that I really like that I think I could get with that pick because somebody has rookie fever. Like I would still be open to that.
Jackson Smith and Jigba. I would try and see if I can get Ladd McConkey to pair up. Now your new Justin Herbert shiny toy. Like I'd be interested in that.
Yeah, Ladd would be a good one in that range.
Yeah, so like for 1-6 range, like right there. So I'm taking Henderson. I would take Henderson at 5 to guarantee me those 4 running backs. And then again, that gives me a great trade asset there too. And then I've seen this go down. Can I get Ladd McConkey for 1-6?
Yep, because somebody might really love Tet and
Yeah.
think his ceiling is bonkers.
Yeah, I would. And then you have Justin.
I think this team is about to be sexy.
Yeah, it's about to be really good, dude. So again, could we go back to our team then?
Yep.
So then it would give us Brock Purdy. Say that works. Because I could see that working. And honestly, I'd give a little bit more if I had to give.
It sounds like it was offered to him. So I think the Herbert trade.
No, the Herbert trade. I'm assuming we do that deal, right?
Okay.
If I had to give a little bit more on 1-6 to get Ladd, it wouldn't be a lot, but I would be willing to do that.
I'm with you.
So,
I'm with you.
Like I don't know
a
who
proven
has
commodity versus a non-proven commodity.
Yeah. So you'd have Justin Herbert, Brock Purdy, Jahmyr Gibbs, Devon Achane, who's backed up by Jalen Wright. Going with, I think Nick Chubb, if he signs in Chicago, it's going to be a trade asset in season. I'll take a second. But then Trevion Henderson. Then your receivers would be Ricky Pearsall, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, and Ladd McConkey. Who's this tight end? You have Dalton Kincaid.
Dalton Kincaid now.
Yeah. And then,
which it wouldn't be bad. I'd love to try to go sneak like a cheap tight end. Like, can I get a Zach Ertz? Can I get a Jonnu Smith? Can I get somebody just to kind of insulate that?
Like 2nd-round picks too. So
get yourself Aurora, Mason Taylor, guys like that with some upside.
Yeah, I would grab Mason Taylor with like 203 probably because it's tight end premium. I think he'll be there.
He would be there at 203 for sure.
Dude, I'm grabbing Jack Besh there. I'm probably grabbing. Oh, we didn't even finish our mock. Let's do this for him because let's see where it is. We have the trades down, right? Give him that trade.
So we're redoing it.
Yeah, start it over. Sorry, Pete.
Oh, I live for this.
He has all his picks, and we're just going to swap those. We're going to do that trade.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to put it at no league.
Okay, that's fine.
And then number of rounds.
He's got a lot of seconds.
Okay, so I'll bring up the team on my other screen. So we have the 101. Okay, what's
now we have the
105
5 and 6.
Yeah, 5 and 6.
5 and 6. And then we have
2-3.
Oh, it's only a 10 team, Pete.
Is it only a 10 team? Okay, great catch. Thank you.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
I didn't even catch it, Eli.
Do we know his seconds before we get into this? Do we know what 2nd round picks he has?
Yes.
That makes it even better. We're gonna get some goodness here.
Yeah, because that moves everybody up 2 spots.
And it's super flex tight end premium, correct? Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so we're on a 101, 105, 106.
Yep.
And then we have
203, 204,
204, and 209.
Okay.
And 301.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, because I want the 301 is going to matter.
Yep. We know for sure Cam Ward is going 2. Oh no, it's not rookie only.
Oh, Peter.
We're putting a lot of pressure on him right now.
He's Peter to rookie. I don't know why it was.
That's so funny.
Linear. Okay, you see it's rookie. Okay.
No, I know.
This is what you call good live streaming content right here.
Hey, that's all right. Look, when you do it live, you expect some silly things to happen at times.
Okay.
Cool.
Love it.
Hit it. Start.
There we go. Thank you.
Ash and Genty. Boom.
We're a contender now.
Yep.
Okay, well, we know Cam. We should have taken pick 2. It's too late now because Cam Ward we know is going 2.
That's true.
But I mean, we
just bump them all down 1. Just bump them all down 1.
Yeah.
We get Travion at 5.
So we get Travion at 5. So take Cam Ward at 5 because we know that's already gone.
Okay.
And then
Ted McMillan at 6.
Ted McMillan here at 6.
Okay.
All right. At 203, we have Caleb Johnson, Cam Scattaboo. We don't really need either of those guys, although I think they're the best available players, so I have no problem taking them. But I'm also totally cool with going Jaden Higgins here.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with going Jaden Higgins. If RJ Harvey slipped to me, I'd have no problem going there too.
Also,
so why don't we say
106 for Lad? If it works, yes, 100%.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah, 100 after the Herbert trade. Honestly, even without the Herbert trade, I'm still taking Lad.
This team is about to be insane after this rookie.
It's going to be nuts.
Yeah,
they're going to be far and away the best team in this league.
Yeah. So then at 2-3,
I would say for these 2 picks, Higgins, and then your choice of Scattaboo or Johnson, whoever you like more.
And he's saying that Dart has a chance of being there early second as well.
Do we have a third quarterback?
No, we don't.
So I would be totally fine with that.
Yeah, since we have back-to-back picks, if Dart's there, he'd be one of the picks. If not, I'd go Jaden Higgins and Caleb
I'd even
Johnson.
be willing to trade up to get at Jackson Dart.
Is Caleb Johnson over Cam for you, both of you guys?
I have Cam over Caleb personally, but I'm not going to argue anybody.
On tape, I have Scattaboo higher, but
They're might be 18 picks apart.
Yeah, I might be interested in Caleb Johnson there because I think with his draft capital being where it is, the situation, 2 years younger, well, a year and a half. But yeah, either one. Listen, Eli, whichever one you like better. We both like Cam Scattaboo better, so let's go take our guy. Let's stand on the grounds of belief.
We believe.
Oh, and this is the first time. This is the first year that his league is doing a buy-in.
He talked him into paying him. Good stuff, Eli.
This is the year, man.
Good stuff, Eli.
Any other thoughts?
Make our picks. I want to see who's there 3-1. We're gonna get Jack Bash.
So are we going to Caleb or Cam?
Cam.
Okay.
Oh, we have 2-9 too.
Yep.
Caleb's not falling.
Why is
there.
Caleb Johnson won't be there. Go down a little bit. Go down. Yep. Jack Bash. Harvey won't be there either. And then 3-1.
He does need a tight end, so Mason Taylor's still there.
Yeah, Mason Taylor.
Yeah, Mason Taylor.
In a 10-team league, that's great.
It's a good team.
Great
yeah,
job.
your team is Eli's about to. If you can make those trades happen, which it sounds like you can, because it sounds like you got offered those trade packages, make it happen. That Justin Herbert trade is phenomenal for you. And then if you somehow get Ladd for 1-6, your team is ready to take that year's first league buy-in.
Perfect.
I love
Buy
it.
me a Coca-Cola Classic, please.
Oh, we got another.
Rich to the rescue.
I had a feeling there would be a lot of these today. Roster rescue for Jose here. He said, I think Hunter could fall at 105, knowing my league mates.
It's a 12-team Superflex PPR, and it's also a live draft with 10 minutes per pick in the first round.
Okay, so no tight end premium.
Correct.
It says
And
with like starting
they
premium
need
on
to
it.
get. No, it is Titan Premium. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Doesn't matter. 1.5.
And
Right.
then,
Right.
yep.
So
Right.
at quarterback, we have Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray, and between those other two guys, maybe another quarterback, maybe not. We'll see. James Cook, Marshawn Lloyd, Alexander Madison, Raheem Mostert at running back. Wide receivers, the strength of this team. We've got Garrett Wilson, AJ Brown, DJ Moore. Keep scrolling for me, Pete. George Pickens, and then that's about it. And then tight end, we have Tucker Kraft, Jatavian Sanders. We have the 105, the 109, the 111, and the 202. Dynasty wise, we're in 5th, but I'm guessing contender, we might be a little. Oh, no, exact same spot. 5th, either way. So right now, you're in a good spot at quarterback. You have 2 guys that you feel very, very good about. You don't have a third one. We're not going to worry about addressing that in this moment, but at some point, it's always good to have 3. Running back and tight end are obviously of major concern. The tricky part is with where our picks line up, you're probably only getting one that you feel great about. You're going to get more than likely Travion Henderson at 5. That he's been available there.
He said he's very he feels really good about Travis Hunter being there.
I get that, but Travion Henderson.
I'm taking Travis Hunter
at 5. I don't really want Hunter at 5.
I mean, Henderson fits his roster better. I'm still taking Travis Hunter at 5. I just have him higher on my board.
I get that. I have Travis Hunter in that next tier where you have him in the tier with Hampton and Ward.
Yeah.
So that's why
I'm easily. So I'm personally, I would, even though receiver is his strength, I'm taking Hunter at 1.5, and then at 1.9, I'm taking RJ Harvey. And then I'm looking to move Pickens or more and get another running back. Honestly, I would use my 26 first in season to just grab another running back. Is what I would. Does he have his 26 first? And does he have any seconds too?
He has his 26.
Yeah, he's got 202.
Oh, he has pick 111 too. Oh,
you weren't listening.
Do we want to do a quick
can I
walk
see
with this guy?
Okay. Yeah. 2-2. Oh yeah, he's gonna get a tight end too. Okay. Yeah. We're gonna fix this. Oh, you're in a good spot for this team.
Okay.
Honestly, I would be very much so looking at a potential trade up. I know you're all in on RJ Harvey, and I understand that. But to me, he is one of the most risky players that you can take in the first round. If I can mitigate that risk and turn 109 into 107 and get myself Quinshawn, I feel way better about that and way safer about that.
See, I don't. I feel like
but how could you not feel safer, Rich? You had him as what, your running back 12, 14, 15?
I understand that, but like for the running back position, if you're the starter, and definitely in Denver, like we were all intrigued about who's in Denver's going to take because it's such 100%. A good spot. RJ Harvey, a big knock on RJ Harvey for me was he's a 24-year-old running back, right? That's one of my biggest knocks on him. He's explosive. He can catch the football. Like he fits Sean Payton's offense really well. Again, we talk about this all the time. Like scheme matters. Draft capital matters. And you're right. Is it risky? But like I said earlier, Quinshawn Judkins comes with some risk in Cleveland. Like that offensive line's old. We don't know the quarterback situation. And they drafted Dylan Sampson in the 4th, who's a really good running back. There is some risk there as well.
But I feel like we are leaning toward a mistake that we have made in the past where we have gone opportunity and landing spot over talent.
I get it's. I know, but I like Dylan Sampson's talent too, though. That's the problem. See, again, I like Dylan Sampson a lot. Like I think he's gonna get on the field with Quinshawn, and like he's a better passer.
I think so too.
So,
but
I gotta get my charger. My computer's gonna die. So
okay, but Nick Chubb had receiving running backs and was still just fine in the same offense, same style of player. So for me, like I get the RJ Harvey love. I get that the landing spot is super fun. I am a little more leery. If he's there at like 111, 112, I'm much more comfortable taking him. I'm not taking him over the guys at 108, 109, 110. Like I'm just not. I get that. I get that. But I'm not doing it. Like I'm not taking a lower tier player simply based on landing spot. We've done this before. Like, we've played this game before. We've done it with guys like Keyshawn Johnson, with CEH. Like, we've played this game. AJ Dillon jumped up in drafts because of where he went. Like, I'm not willing to do it.
Okay.
I don't know how much you heard.
Like,
Did
would
you
I
hear that or no?
So would I take? I didn't hear any of it. But if I could take Quinshon Judkins over RJ Harvey, I 100% would. But I feel like the cost of what it's going to do to get there wouldn't really be worth it for me compared to RJ. What I can get out of RJ Harvey, who I think.
So here's what I was saying, Rich.
Quinshon Judkins this year.
I feel like this is something that we've done though. Like CEH, Keyshawn Vaughn, AJ Dillon, guys that like get artificially Cam Akers get artificially moved up just because of the team that, it's Sean McVay. Yeah, you got to take the Sean McVay.
I disagree.
Guy.
We didn't move any of those
guys. You
got
to take the Kansas City guy.
Clyde, listen, we moved Clyde Edwards-Helaire up. Yes. And we did that because he was the first round NFL draft pick. We liked his tape, right? It wasn't like we moved Clyde Edwards-Helaire up drastically. We still had a first round grade on him. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't
moved him from basically running back 4-5 to 1.
Correct. But he was still like, we really liked his tape a lot. It wasn't like RJ Harvey, right? Those other guys, we didn't move those guys up. We didn't like Keyshawn Vaughn.
I'm saying the general consensus. The general consensus.
I know that we're not going from the consensus. We're going from us. I would take RJ Harvey and be totally comfortable with it. I don't think it's a massive mistake. Again, I understand your process and I agree with you for the most time. In this scenario, I'm not looking at all these other scenarios. For this one scenario on RJ Harvey, I believe that juice will be, it's a small cup of juice. Is worth it. And I think the trade value is there down the road. So that's just my opinion. You and I, just like Harold Fannin, we see this very drastically different.
Sure.
I feel, yes, if I could move up for Quinshon Judkins for over RJ Harvey, Garrett, for cheap, I would. But I'm not giving a lot to move up there because I would just rather have RJ Harvey. And for this team, ready to take a step forward, I think RJ Harvey will outproduce Quinshon Judkins in 2025. I think he will score more fantasy points if they both stay healthy. Personally, that is my personal belief.
So the thing for me is like, I don't think the move from 109 to 107 is going to be crazy expensive.
Okay.
And if it is, then it is. Like, I'm not saying you have to do that, but I would feel much more comfortable with an RJ Harvey at 11 than I would 9. Like, now I feel like we're getting closer to the range that he should be in versus 9.
Listen, I'm fine with that too because I mean, if we get him at 11, sweet. And what sucks is our mock draft tool here is going to say he's available at 11. It's going to say.
Right.
But we don't know if he will be. I mean, here, let me go on while you bring this up, get rid of mock drafts. I'm going to go I'm in 100 live drafts right now.
100.
It might as well be. Honestly, dude, it might as well be. Let me go to one that's not.
The mock draft is all set up, by the way.
Let me go to one that's not like an industry league. I'll give you my opinion here. So okay. I'm on the clock in a league. Jackson Dart just went, and I have pick 112, 110, and RJ Harvey is available there. Okay,
at 110.
At 110. Let me go to this league here. Join draft. Right below it. We haven't gotten that far yet.
106. So.
Here, let me go to a shark league. Let me go to an industry league with some really good industry people in it. Right. Join draft. Hold on, because we're in the second round. RJ Harvey went 111. That's an industry.
You're talking about the UDPL?
Yeah, UDPL. So I think you could get RJ Harvey at 111. So let's just keep that in mind.
Okay.
Okay. Are we ready to mock?
Yeah.
Let's mock it up.
Now remember, he said Travis Hunter is probably going to be here at 1.5. And I know you said Henderson. And I'm not going to fight you. Like, I'm not going to, okay, well, in this situation.
And neither one of them are there in this scenario.
But now, remember, in his scenario, though, if he's telling us Hunter's going to be there, let's just assume Henderson's not even an option for us anyways.
I'm fine with Hunter at 103.
Well, you know what I mean?
Or 105, I mean.
But aren't you, right? And we have to assume.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. Totally.
Yeah,
best player available. If he's the highest guy on your board, I'm never going to argue best player available. Ever.
So should we assume that Ward goes here then?
Okay.
So we'll switch Ward and Hunter then, and we'll say he gets Hunter at Ward.
Okay. So we got Hunter here.
109.
Okay.
I have no problem taking Jackson Dart here.
I don't either.
This quarterback situation. He needs a tight
Yeah,
end.
what's his team look? Can we see his team real quick, Pete, without messing this up?
It's tight end premium. I have no problem taking Jackson Dart here. I have no problem taking Colston Loveland here. Again, because we know we're taking RJ Harvey at 11, right?
Right.
So
he does need a running. Yeah.
But his receiving room is fine, so I don't really want Emeka Ibuka here. You know what I mean? Like the weighty, like, do I like it? Do I have Emeka? But Emeka at least is in that tier where I could kind of draft for a little bit of need here.
I would be definitely tempted. Like, I'm fine with Jackson Dart, but I have him in the same tier as the 2 tight ends.
Yeah.
And I think I could really see this team, like, give myself a second shot at somebody being an elite guy. I think Tucker Kraft has that potential. Do I think it's likely? No, but I at least think the potential's there. But give me a second shot at that. So
what
probably
second round pick do we have?
We also have
202.
202. Yep.
Yeah, so I would, you know what? I'm going to gamble that Dart's going to be there. So, okay, here's the thing. Do we take Jackson Dart and at 202 take Mason Taylor?
We could.
Or hope. Like, who's better to fall? Colston Loveland, Tyler Warren, one of those two? Or Jackson Dart? Like,
well, here's the thing that we have not done yet, Rich. Other than the RJ Harvey pick, that's only our second running back. I would be fine with taking Cam Scadaboo at 2-2.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, I'd be totally fine.
Because James Cook's our only other running back.
Or Caleb Johnson if he falls. One of those.
Yeah.
One of those two.
Same
and one of those guys might fall to 2-2. So this comes down to Colston Loveland or Jackson Dart for us. Do we want a third quarterback, or do we want to take our shot at tight end? Being tight end premium,
I lean tight end.
I lean Colston Loveland here. Yeah,
okay.
I agree.
All right, Colston Loveland, 1-9.
RJ Harvey.
We're taking RJ Harvey at 111. And Sleeper's ADP, somebody was reminding us of this, Jonathan. Sleeper's ADP has not updated yet, which is part of this for us. And so that's why RJ Harvey is still looking like a third round pick, because that's what he was pre-draft.
Yeah.
Dart dropped. Johnson dropped.
Dart's still there.
Scadaboo and
I'm 100% taking Jackson Dart over a gamble on a running back.
This is best. This is another best available player scenario. Yeah. Like, is Caleb Johnson probably a bigger need for our team? Yeah, probably. But you don't take a lower tier player just because you have a need. You trade for need later.
Yeah, and this gives us Travis Hunter, Colston Loveland, RJ Harvey, Jackson Dart. You hit.
Yeah, remember, if you're out there, Cam Ward is not the guy we're taking there. It was just how the draft fell. It's Travis Hunter.
But we just hit every position group. So this gives us. Is this our team right here, Peter?
Yep.
Yeah. So this gives us Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray with Joe Jackson Dart in the background. Maybe Flacco starts. Maybe Winston gets an opportunity. And also then you have Winston and Dart. So you had the backup potential starter in New York. Then that would give us RJ Harvey, James Cook. We're real thin at running back still there. But we have
some picks.
Yeah, but you're also in a really good position to trade one of those receivers then, because you have Travis Hunter now. So you could trade DJ Moore. You could trade George Pickens, right?
Like, the hard part is both Pickens and Moore right now are tough people to trade away.
You can't trade them
the press value.
Yeah, it's in season. It's an in-season trade.
Yeah,
for a running for a running back if you need it. So
Chuba Hubbard, that last place team has Chuba and Derrick Henry and Najee Harris. This is the team I'm talking to at some point.
Yeah, if they're looking,
do they think they're contenders and they're not? I don't understand their build.
Well, you got to put them in contender mode. We're in dynasty mode, so of course
they're definitely a contending team.
They think they are.
Patriot.
I think they're a contender.
So there's 7th.
Yeah, they're even contending. They're not really a true contender here.
No. Yeah, that's a team that I'm monitoring in season to see how they're doing.
Yeah, your 26 first is going to become very available in season for a running back. You'll know which one to get. I mean, tweet at us. We'll tell you which one to get. But
absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm going to this with James Cook, RJ Harvey. James Cook had a phenomenal draft weekend. They did not move off of him and draft his replacement and say, go ahead and sell your house. We're not giving you an extension. He's still the guy in Buffalo. So that's fantastic. You get RJ Harvey. You need that third running back, but you're in such a good position to get him, whether it be you trade one of those receivers in season. But honestly, I'm just looking to trade my 26th first for one of those running backs on a bad team when the time comes. And that gives you a really good spot. Any kind of desperation, again, you have receivers to move. But now you have A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Travis Hunter for those elite guys. And then DJ Moore and George Pickens for excellent, excellent depth guys.
Love it. All right. So with Jose, We love your team. You're going to be in a spot soon to be able to compete. You're right on the cusp. So
and go back to that too, Gary. For some reason, Hunter is not there. It's like it doesn't go the way you think. So somebody does take Hunter at 4, you get Trevor and Henderson, and now you don't have to worry about. Now your running back room is Trevor and Henderson, James Cook, and RJ Harvey, and it's way better. And that's what
Jose even just asked. He said, "What about flipping DJ Moore for a Kenneth Walker type? If you can do that, yep, 100%. Done and done."
Yeah, yeah, because Travis Hunter is going to slide into that role for you, and you don't need DJ Moore definitely because then you have Kenneth Walker. Then you can start RJ Harvey, James Cook, and Kenneth Walker.
All right, Rich, I know you need to get out of here soon. How many trade questions do we need? Is this the only one that we're behind on?
This is the only one. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Rich, do you have time for this and one more roster rescue?
I have about, if I push it to go get my son, I could probably get her like 2:05 to late. I gotta be out the door at 2:05. So I got about 13
let's do this trade real quick, and then we'll go ahead and do one more roster rescue real quick, and we'll get Taylor in here.
Let me talk first.
Just let me talk, baby. All right, super chat. Me again, Eli. We just talked about his team 2 or 3 teams ago. Crazy timing. Just got sent an offer where I get Lad, and I give up a 26 first and second. That's smash accept, right? Yeah. You still get Tet at 106, and you just got Lad.
And you got her.
Man, this team is going to be sexy. When you make all these trades, Eli, tweet at me at Dynasty Price, at Dynasty Rich, and even Pete. Maybe you could tag the Dynasty Nerd so he can see it, because I want to see the final product of all of those together, because that team is going to be sexy.
Dude, Eli, I just want to let you know that in some states you could be arrested for what's about to go down when you hit accept. That is what I like to call dynasty robbery. I like to call that assault with no lube. Yeah, that's such a good trade, dude. I would do that if my team was back. Like if I was like, I'm probably gonna have like the 1-3 next year. Don't care. Here you go. Here's my second 2. Here's 1-3 and 2-3 next year. Don't matter, because guess what? Scott Ladd ain't gonna be that bad.
Bowling.
Smash accept, Dan. Draft Jack Besh. Yes. This is Matt O'Hara's number 4 wide receiver overall pre-draft on tape. This was Matt O'Hara's wide receiver 4. Matt's a wide receiver guru.
Yes.
We'll see how Xavier Legette pans out for him. We'll see. Maybe not great.
Last year's class wasn't his best class,
but Jack Bash 2.8 to me, that's smash accept. Great draft capital, great spot. Number 1 receiver.
To trade up. So like what would you give up for that if you're a contending piece? Like are you
you're just trying to trade up?
Take my second next year.
I'd offer my second and third next year.
Okay.
Yep.
And honestly, if I had to go third into the 2027 draft too, thirds are meaningless to me. I would offer a second and 2 thirds to get him.
Okay.
Remember,
or just like I'll trade you my whole draft next year except my first. Where you throw in like the magical 4th and 5th.
Exactly. Yeah, in the 4th and 5th to make it look like you get a lot for that second. 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into Chris's team.
The last one. That's a Rich Dotson special here.
We've got.
Oh yeah, he'll be back on Wednesday. He'll be back. Don't worry, people. Justin Herbert, Michael Penix, Justin Fields. I'm guessing this is a 1 QB, right?
It is a
based on the values.
Start 10, but that includes a kicker and a defense.
Okay. Michael Penix, Justin Fields, Geno Smith, Devon Achane, Trey Benson, Tyjae Spears, Jonathan Brooks. Wide receivers, the strength of the team here: Malik Neighbors, Ladd McConkey, DK Metcalf, Chris Godwin, Ricky Pearsall, Xavier Legette, Rashid Shaheed. We got Dalton Kincaid and Cole Kmet at tight end. Then we have 102, 106, and even some extra future draft capital to go along with our 202 this year. We are the first place team dynasty value wise, but in contender mode, we are in 6th. So right in the middle there in contender mode. Rich, take it away before you.
Yeah, this is going to change drastically. So you have 102, 106. You're in a really good spot. Now, that 106 being 1 QB is going to slightly push you out of that elite tier for me. Because Cam Ward's not going to go that high. And what sucks is like you don't need a receiver; you need running back. So 102, it's
106 will probably be Quinchon though.
So you're right. So I'll say if I can move up, like if say Henderson falls to 1.5, like I'm trying to move up from 1.6 to 1.5. Like I'm definitely trying to do that because you're taking Hampton at 2, for sure.
That's easy.
That's easy. Your quarterbacks are fine. You're strong everywhere else. So I mean, this is for a roster rescue. I mean, this isn't one. In season, if Justin Fields starts popping off a little bit for his rushing ability, but still looks like he can't pass the ball a ton, I'd be trying to maybe move off Justin Fields there. But overall, I mean, this is one of those for me, Garrett, a cut and dry roster rescue. I mean, your receivers are absolutely A+ receiving core, youth, talent. You got a stack with Justin Herbert. You got the upside of Michael Penix behind him there, so you're solid there. Obviously, it's clear as day you need a running back, but you're going to solve this problem very quickly. You're going to take this team from contender mode to the middle pack to the top of the pack because you're going to add Mario and Hampton, and you're going to add Quinshon Judkins. Again, I would like to get Trevion Henderson to kind of like escalate that scoring a little bit higher. So if I can move up one for 1.5, what kind of second round picks does he have?
He has 202 and 307.
Okay, 202. I'm not moving 202.
I was gonna say because that's another potential good running back there that you could be getting.
I would offer.
It is PPR, so
yeah,
or receiver. That Jaden Higgins or yeah.
Yeah, and that's fine because you're taking best player available. It might be a tight end even maybe there, even though it's just PPR. We'll see. If I could offer that second next year, not 202, if I could offer 26 second and 106 to move 1.5 to get Trevion Henderson, I would do that.
Assuming he's there.
Assuming he's there. Yeah, assuming he's there. Because you're right. It might not be. It might just be Tet McMillan that's there.
Yeah, and then you just say, okay, I'll sit pat and I'll just take Quinshon.
You take Quinshon. But 1-2 is Hampton. Pretty cut and dry there. And at 1.6, it's probably going to be Quinshon Judkins, but I'm going to offer that 26 second. I'd even get my 26 third if I had to move up one spot.
Let's talk about this real quick because I know, you like this player, but I think if you're going into a season where you think you're going to contend and Telton Kincaid is your tight end 1, you don't feel confident about that. What are you doing at tight end?
The problem is like you're not taking a tight end at 6, even if they're there, because they're not going to give you instant points anyways. Like tight ends are slow,
and it's not tight end premium.
And it's not tight end premium. He's super thin there. That's why at 202, like I'm real interested in taking like a Mason Taylor like off the board there because you need him.
But chances are he's not helping you this year. Are you interested in, like we've talked about these kind of guys before, the Zach Ertz, the Jonnu Smiths of the world? Like, are you trying to finagle something to get somebody like that?
Yeah, I mean, if I could, if we put in contender mode, I guess the best mode put in contender mode, and let's see what tight end is available. If there's any worth going to get.
Okay, so yeah, let's look at these lower tier teams or teams that have multiple tight ends. You're not getting Kelsey might be an option. Yeah. I just don't know how much of an upgrade he is at this point in his career.
I'll tell you what I'm doing right at the gate to that 12th team. I'm offering him 1.6 for Trey McBride.
I don't hate that.
Yeah, that's right out the gate. I probably shot down.
It is hard that it's not tight end premium though. That's the
I know, but that doesn't matter. I mean, he's still an elite tight end regardless. You know what I mean? Like if I Quinshon Judkins or the number 1 tight end, give me that. Let me see where I want to see what Trey McBride in PPR his total points were compared to a receiver last year. So tight end last year. Oh, come on. What is going on here? Okay.
I think he was at like 13 point something.
Of course, this isn't working.
It's all good.
Properly.
But what other teams? While he's looking that up, what other teams have tight end there, Pete? Do we have? There's Zach
not a
Ertz.
lot of great fits. Oh, this one has
TJ Hawkinson.
TJ.
They have Bowers and Hawkinson. I bet you any money that they are willing to give up TJ Hawkinson. Even if you have to give, like, would you give? I'm trying to think of the best way to go about this.
I'd offer my 26 first for TJ Hawkinson.
Would you give 202 and Kincaid? So that way, because this guy might want a backup. Would you give 202 and Kincaid to get Hawkinson?
No, because then it still puts me really shallow at tight end. It doesn't really.
But at least you have a starter.
Okay, well, Kincaid could be a starter too.
It's tough to count on. I'd rather have something I could count on.
Listen, I get it. I would just see if I could offer my 26 first for TJ. This team's he's got Bowers, so he's gonna be way more.
I bet you
easier
could
to
get
rid
TJ
of.
Hawkinson plus for your first, like in a non-tight end premium. I think you could get even more than that.
But I'm telling you, I'd be okay giving just my first.
Okay.
If I can, but go back up. What else? Got like, is there anything on top? No, he doesn't even have anything. He's not gonna give you. I mean, if can he throw in Josh Downs? That'd be sweet, but probably
Xavier
not.
Worthy.
He's young. You're not getting Xavier Worthy and TJ Hawkinson for a first.
You might, depending on how they think your team.
They probably took Xavier Worthy with a first round pick. Their first.
All right. Yeah, but I think that's the only other thing. I mean, outside of like fixing that running back room is just kind of addressing tight end and trying to figure out, is there a team that has an extra tight end, or if they're a lower tier team that would be willing to, move a tight end. I think
that team finished with 1-3. They're not good. They have back Bowers, an extra first in the rebuild. They're trying to acquire picks. Hawkinson didn't have the best year last year, so his value's down a little bit. So I would offer my 26th first. I know Garrett said he want more, but I wouldn't be selfish. Like, there's nothing else he has anyways I'm even asking for. That's realistic. Like,
I'd see it if I get the second back. Can I get TJ Hawkinson in your second for my first?
His second's 2-3, and he's rebuilding. He's not going to do that.
Can't hurt to ask.
I guess. I mean, I just don't want to put a sour taste in his mouth and just hit no.
I just think I know you're a tight end slut, but in a non-tight end premium, if it's not one of those elite guys, people are just not valuing him that highly.
I think TJ Hawkinson's elite. So I think TJ Hawkinson need a year to rebound. I think he's absolutely least. I think he's a tier in that tier 2 tight ends.
Okay.
Like, he's right up there to me. Like, okay, I guess if you put Bowers in his own tier and McBride in his own tier, he's in tier 3 with Laporta for me. I think he's absolutely dynamic. I think he's absolutely electric. So if I get it for my 26th first, then this is going to put us with then this team's ready to rock and roll, right? And you have Kincaid. So if Kincaid pops too, now you have 2 good tight ends. Right. So your first is going to be late, right? So a late first in a bad draft class for an elite tight end. Yeah, I would do that. And it's a position of need. Then you come out of this with Devon Achane, Mario Hampton, Quinshawn Junkins, maybe Trevor Henderson. You can move up a spot, and then Dalton Kincaid and Hawkinson. That's a really good mix. Otherwise, and then at 2-2, you could probably get like Jack Besh, right? Like we talked about before, maybe Jaden Higgins, someone on those lines.
Awesome. Well, Rich, thank you for joining us for the first 2 hours of Roster Rescue. Go get your kid, be a dad. We'll see you.
Okay, we have Taylor here now.
Taylor's ready and rearing to go.
Let's add him in. Here we go. Yeah.
Taylor.
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
Have you recovered from the weekend?
I recovered from the weekend, but I had a lengthy drive on the way home. So I ended up getting really tired and went to bed early. So I'm well rested. I've been hard at my drafts. I've got 5 of them going right now.
Okay.
So lot of ADP changes from what we saw pre-draft. Yeah. I did listen a little bit, and the 2 things that I think we can take away from the first 2 hours is Ladd McConkey for a future first and second is absolute highway robbery.
Absolutely.
And I think we will be a little more on the same page about RJ Harvey than you and Rich were. So I think as far as like where I came down on that, it seemed like you guys had a pretty strong back and forth with RJ Harvey. I think he feels more of a landing spot than a prospect kind of a guy to me. So I think I'm happy to move out of that spot if it comes to it, just rather than moving into it. So.
Yeah, and I'm fine with him at the 112, 2-1 area, but I know that he's starting to get pushed into the 106, 107, 108, and that's the area that's I'm having a little harder time with.
Yeah, no, not for me.
I have 2 questions, Garrett.
Okay. All right, let's do it. Jose.
No, but that's the second one. The first one is how's your arm?
It's going. I'm surviving. Fortunately, I don't have I left my stand with all of the other equipment because Jared's like, "Oh, we need another stand. Can you bring yours?" I'm like, "Sure." And of course, as I'm leaving, I forget that I needed my stand back. So yes, I have been holding the mic for the entirety of the show. It is going. But look, I'm a soldier, baby. I mean, I'm the longest show we're probably ever going to do in Roster Rescue history so far. I'm holding the mic the whole time. But the second and more important part, Jose hits us with the super chat saying, thoughts on Trey Benson, hold and future RB1. So I'll be honest, I liked Trey Benson quite a bit coming out. I thought he was a really dynamic back. I thought he was one of the few backs in a very down class that had a chance to be a much better, a good fantasy asset, I should say. That being said, sometimes we have to make sure we take the information as it comes. What they've told us is outside of like one game, he didn't really get much run last season. And James Conner, for the first time ever, of course, stayed healthy. Of course he does. And they signed Conner to a new deal. So all of that says to me that maybe they don't value Trey Benson as highly as I thought they did when they took him in the 3rd round. That being said, I think the hold part, I agree with. You're not going to sell him for anything of value right now. The part that I'm going to have a harder time with is the future RB1 part. I don't know at this point that I can say that confidently. We know that the Cardinals are willing to give one guy the workload. They've done it for a while now. So we know that that's possible once he gets the job. So is it possible? Sure. I'm just not banking on like, in one more year, I got an RB1, baby. I think I would have to temper my expectations a little bit.
Yeah, I think you said everything that needs to be said there. You can't get anything for him. So if he spikes at some point during the season and you can get someone who looks like they're going to have a mid to early second or something, then just re-roll that. Otherwise, maybe he does get you a couple of games this year because Conner doesn't stay healthy for the second full season of his career in back-to-back years. You know, there's a good shot that he could at least get you a spot start here and there. So hold and hope for the best.
All right. Real quick too, I want to tell you guys about Fast Draft. If you have not signed up for Fast Draft yet, there are several really good reasons to sign up for Fast Draft. Like today, right now, one, they have their Rookie Origins tournament, which is super fun, especially right now. That's what we're talking like crazy, these rookies. And you draft only rookies. It's a best ball rookie only draft. So if you think you have the edge, you know, if you're like, people aren't high enough on RJ Harvey, I got to get more RJ Harvey. Maybe you have an opportunity to go in there and do that. Or if you have a sleeper that you're like, oh man, nobody's talking about Isaac Tesla, but he's going to be a stud. Like whatever it is, go ahead in there, do that, win yourself a bunch of money. They're going to double your first deposit up to $25 using promo code NERDS. But here's the second reason, and it is also a very, very good reason. We at Dynasty Nerds will give you a full free year of the GM bundle, which means everything we have, everything we do, the Nerd Score Plus released today. Like if you want the app, you want the film room to watch some of these guys, like you want an extra podcast, you want all of these things, you get it absolutely for free if you use promo code NERDS. And if you're already a Nerd Herd member, we'll send you a t-shirt then if you do it. So there's really no reason not to. If you play best ball, if you're like, oh, I love Underdog, it's great. Why would you not join Fast Draft? It's a great opportunity there.
So can I say something I probably shouldn't?
Yes.
This is the secret to a free Dynasty Nerds membership for life, right?
For life.
You sign in, you sign up for Fast Draft, get that free year, right?
Right.
And then you win thousands of dollars with Fast Draft, and then it's all there, baby.
I see.
No more money
paid for.
There you go.
None of your money, just the money you won. You know,
done and done. It's a great secret. Taylor, you were laughing at something. What tickled your fancy over there?
What was? I don't know. I mean, I was laughing at a lot of things over here. I just Pete in general just gives me the giggles. I mean, I met him this last weekend and face to face, and I've never met him.
Oh, that's true. You didn't meet him in. Yeah, he doesn't come in August. I forgot about that.
Yep. I've never met a more interesting human being in the flesh than our own Peter Bartowski. So,
and that's the thing. Like, you might think that, like, oh, Pete's just being a ham for the camera. This is Pete all the time. This is Pete all the time.
Sadly, it's a good thing you only had a weekend with me.
All right, let's get back into our roster rescues here. Let's head over to Brad. Brad saying, should I be aggressive to trade up for Hunter? If so, what should I try to do? So right now, dynasty-wise in this one QB league, he is the number one team. Dynasty-wise, or contender-wise, where does he sit, Pete? He is also far and away the number one team. So, first of all, congratulations, Brad. Well done on being freaking awesome. Second of all, here's the roster. Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields. Running back wise, we have Bijan Robinson, Bucky Irving, Kenneth Walker, Alvin Kamara, Tyrone Tracy. At wide receiver, we have CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Puka Nacua, Jalen Waddle, Khalil Shakir, Xavier Worthy. Tight ends, TJ Hawkinson, Tucker Kraft. We do not have our first this year, but we do have 3 picks, 207, 211, and 212. Taylor, I have been talking a lot. So go ahead and take it away, my guy.
Yeah, you've already been at it for a solid 2 hours. This is just the start of my stint. So let's let you have a little bit of water, put that mic down. You know, the thing about this roster being, at the top of the entire league, there's no glaring holes in our starting lineup. None. We're set. I mean, the only question mark really is, would you rather start Bucky Irving or Kenneth Walker? And that's a really hard question to answer, but that's a great one to have to deal with. So outside of that, I think you're locked in here with Lamb, Puka, AJ Brown, Bijan, and then your quarterbacks with Kyler, and you only need one quarterback. So that's the best part, is we can go out there and we can maybe use something in our depth to upgrade possibly at quarterback is one option. I want to address the question right away, though. Should I be aggressive and trade up for Travis Hunter? If so, what should I try to do with it? So we have, like I just mentioned, Lamb, Nacua, AJ Brown, and still have Jalen Waddle and Khalil Shakir is what I'm going to say. I value him as a productive receiver more than Xavier Worthy at this point. I think Shakir is probably a little better of a starting option, but we're already so far down into our depth to even be talking about those guys. The question is, how much do we improve this team by getting Travis Hunter? Because at the moment, he would be a flex for us. AJ Brown, Puka Nacua, CeeDee Lamb, he's not a starting wide receiver.
I don't think he would even be a flex, because would you start him over the running backs right now?
Probably not.
Probably not with what we know right now, with over Bucky or even Kenneth Walker. So I think going up and being aggressive for Hunter makes a lot of sense in most leagues. I don't know if this makes sense for you, because you don't have, like, if you had like the 106 and you wanted to be aggressive and move up to 104 to get him, that would make more sense. But we don't have any assets really to be moving, in my opinion, Garrett.
I agree with you. And honestly, this is, correct me if I'm wrong, this is a start 8, right? From based on the highlighted individuals or
league
guys
size
that you
is 12.
You start
No.
12.
League
size, that's number 2.
So no, I can't read. Nine people. Yep.
You start
It
9.
says number of signers is 9. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why that many. Then only 8 are highlighted, unless I miscounted.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He must have like an empty roster spot or something.
Okay, that could be the case. All right, so 9, but still 9 is very shallow. I shouldn't say very shallow, but it's definitely on the shallower side of things as far as your starting lineup goes. And you already have a couple depth pieces like Kenneth Walker, Tyrone Tracy, Jalen Warren aren't starting for you. Jalen Waddle, Khalil Shakir are not starting for you. If that being the case, you have the depth that you need to be just fine in case an injury or 2 strikes. All I really care about then is, how do I make my starting lineup a little bit better? And so you mentioned it, Kyler Murray in the beginning. Like, that's one spot that we could maybe improve slightly upon. But also, taking a look at running back, we could maybe slightly improve on one of those running backs too. Like, is there a world where, you said Travis Hunter might be available. Is Ashton Genty available? Is Omarion Hampton available? Like, are one of those guys a possibility? Is there a world where Saquon Barkley could be available, or somebody like that. Like, is there somebody on some team that could take our running backs from really good to like, holy crap?
So I think team 6, I believe, or we're in contender mode, team 5. So we've got Patrick Mahomes is their starting quarterback. We have Xavier Worthy. They have Rashee Rice. Maybe they would have some value for Worthy on their team. I'm happy to move Worthy in any deal possible. So that's the first thing that sticks out to me. Maybe I can get something for one of my depth pieces in a deal with this guy.
I
Saquon
doubt
Barkley,
it if he has Rice, but maybe.
some guys like to have them all. You never know.
That's true.
It depends. We play in a lot of leagues where people are cutthroat with roster construction, and they're like, it's all about, the full macro view, but some not the same. I would just say he also has the 105. So Henderson, if we wanted to make an aggressive move for someone like Henderson, we could maybe get younger by giving up some of our depth and going up and getting, we could maybe offer. Let's put something together here, Garrett. I think that between them having Saquon Barkley and the 105 and being middle of the pack in both dynasty value and contender mode, that we can put something together that could appeal to them for one of those assets. I think that would be a big move for us. What do you think?
Yeah, I would have no problem with that. You know how I feel about him. So, I mean, I would have no problem trying to put together a move to make something like that happen.
So would you be willing to move off of Bucky Irving in order to get to Saquon Barkley?
Yeah.
That's where I'm going. I'm going to Bucky Irving, and I'm saying, how much do I have to add? If it's Jalen Waddle, fine. If it's a 2026 first, that's probably ideal to me. That's probably where I'd want to go.
Yeah.
Is to see if I can just do Bucky in the 26 first and get Saquon, and that might be enough to get it done. Hopefully it is. But if not, then, can I just do Bucky my 26 first and the 207 for him then? If that's close, then I want to get that done, because if I can upgrade in a start 9 with the team that we have into a guaranteed top 3 running back in production for next season, that's the move I'd rather make than try to get aggressive for like Travis Hunter.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're in a like-minded spot here where there's not much needed with this roster. It's a really freaking good roster. And if you do nothing else, you're still got a very good chance of winning the league this year. But are there little micro moves that we could make to take it from, hey, you've got a, 40% chance of winning it all this year to a 50% chance to win it all this year? How can we make those little moves? So I think those are the two things. Can I get a slight upgrade at running back to get myself a Saquon Barkley, somebody special? And can I make a slight upgrade at quarterback potentially to get a spot there? That's it. Then I'm good.
Would you be interested in moving up for, like you mentioned, Ashton or either Omarion Hampton, something like that? Would we want to get into this draft, or are we good? I think we're contending no matter what happens with other teams in this draft. Even if someone comes out of here with, 3 out of the top 7 guys, I think we're still by far and away the number 1 contender. So do we even need to look at the draft, or should we just check back in the second round?
Yeah, I don't even think we need to look. What's up, Keith? How you doing, homie?
So microtransactions that we were discussing, just an option. The guy in last place has Devontae Adams. So if you can throw Tyrone Tracy at him and get Devontae Adams, I'm going to make that move in this type of a format, because you have so much depth at running back, and Devontae Adams could be a league winner. If Puka goes down, you put in Devontae Adams, you maybe don't even miss any points that way. So that's the type of small move that I'm looking to make. I'm going to capitalize on these guys that survive the draft, but
we had more than we thought we would,
but have a huge threat on their hands still. Joe Mixon survived the draft. Houston traded up to get a running back, though. I mean, not the same profile running back, but they
Sure.
invested extra capital to get a running back. But from the outside, it looks like Joe Mixon escaped the draft. So who knows what happens? We've got Tracy and Scattaboo. I'm sure you guys talked about that at length the first part of the show.
We did.
There's just all of these question marks. Even Jalen Warren on this team might have some value right now before the Caleb Johnson stuff really kicks in. So if you can trade these guys now that they've survived their value spike, that's the key. So move off of those two guys if you can for what you can get, I would say for sure.
Absolutely. All right. Appreciate it. Now, guys, before we go to our next one, I'll say this. I am prepared to go as long as we need today, within reason. However, right now, we only have one left that we have to do. We only have one. So if you want to, we talked about it before, we're doing super chats for the trades now instead. It's just an easier, more streamlined process. So if you want to do that, go ahead and hit us up. Super chat in the chat there, and we'll make sure to get to your trade question. Or if you want to do a roster rescue, we could easily still add another 2 or 3 roster rescues on top of the one we already have. So just saying, if I don't have to do a marathon today, I am not upset. Don't get me wrong. But that is still available. That is still an option. So just want to put it out there. Let's get to what could be our final potential roster rescue.
How's your bladder doing, Garrett?
Actually, not too bad.
Nice, good. Glad
Not
to hear
too bad. I'm doing all right.
Okay, so this is Peter's team, not me. Another good-looking
Don't believe
fella.
you. All right.
I don't believe him either.
Yeah, this is definitely him. He was like, oh, maybe we got some time. I'm just going to throw this in here. All right. So here we go. We have Josh Allen, Sam Darnold, Derek Carr. Running backs, we have Chase Brown, James Conner, Brian Robinson, Jalen Wright. Receivers, Marvin Harrison, Rashee Rice, DK Metcalf, George Pickens, Khalil Shakir. Tight ends, Dallas Goedert, Brenton Strange. We do not have a first-round pick this year, but we do have 201 and 304. Chef says, let's make this stream 8 hours long. Wow, that would be impressive. I don't know that I even legitimately could. I have like Bible study
Hands
at
down
6 or 6:30.
I can go 12 hours, but it'll just be me, and you probably don't want that.
Get
Pete
the Pete
rankings, yep.
rankings up there. Oh, look, people are scanning now. I see everybody. They're like, yeah, make him go forever.
I really want those. Yeah.
Yep. The Pete score, baby. All right. So right now this team is in 8th in dynasty mode. In contender mode, we are sitting in also 8th. So we're pretty consistent. We're pretty consistent here where we are a team that is not a bad squad, but we find ourselves with several teams kind of ahead of where we're at. So looking at what we have one sure thing stud muffin at quarterback. And then a couple other guys where we don't know. We might even potentially have a 4th quarterback in Kenny Pickett there. I'll just another scan. James Conner, Chase Brown, Brian Robinson, not the strongest running back room, but not bad. We don't have a real tight end, and our wide receiver room is probably the strength of our team, but still at this point, no guaranteed wide receiver 1 for this season. So for me, he said, we have 11 bench spots in this league because my league mates are sickos. I've seen some deep benches where there's like 20 spots, 25 spots. So I hear you, but it can get crazy out there. This is the first time where we're kind of like transitioning, I think, today. But for me, I am probably looking at this more as a rebuild than I am like being a couple pieces away. How do you view this, Taylor? Because looking at guys like Chase Brown and Brian Robinson, they all of a sudden got a nice value boost.
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that I necessarily trust them, especially Brian Robinson. Chase Brown, I'm a little more comfortable with. But Brian Robinson, I still do not trust. So do you look at this as more of a potential rebuild, or do you think with the spots that they have right now, they can make 201 in their third round pick, work some magic, and maybe contend this year?
You know, I want to look at this roster and feel optimistic about it. There's some really good names on here. I'm really excited that we have Josh Allen. I'm still a huge believer in Marvin Harrison. I think that these guys are decent, and that's the problem, is we need to get great, or we need to, you know, totally strip it down to the bones, because right now we have too much middle ground going on, and I think we're going to be stuck there because of the other competition in our league. So if we look at our other two best teams in the league, they're way ahead of us as far as contender mode. So, you know, you've got one team, you want to go to the first team there, Pete, that's sitting with Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Kyron Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Nico Collins, Brian Thomas, George Kittle. Like, we're being beaten at almost every position by this team in a 1-to-1. Our RB1, their RB1. Our wide receiver 1, their, like, it's not really close when you start looking at it at the best teams in the league. So I think we need to strip it and get rid of everything we can, especially as Garrett was mentioning, guys like Brian Robinson and Chase Brown, James Conner. All of these running backs are still question marks as far as their dynasty value long-term goes. After this season, any one of those guys might have lost all dynasty value. Just if Conner gets hurt and then gets replaced, Chase Brown could get replaced. Brian Robinson still, I don't know if you've heard anything, Pete. I'm not as much up to date on all of the like rumors that have been going on. I haven't been on social media as much the past couple of days, but there are some running backs now that are going to be looking for free agency landing spots, guys like J.K. Dobbins. So I don't, and Nick Chubb. So if they end up in a place like Washington, now all of a sudden Brian Robinson went from maybe getting you a second to, I don't even know if anyone wants him other than throwing him in on a deal. So I'm definitely looking to move off of those players now. Not necessarily for draft capital in this year's draft. It'd be great if I could. If I can trade James Conner and get the 203, the 202, the 204 maybe. If I can get that value for him right now on this team, I'm definitely going to do that. But that might not be realistic once people get their draft fever. So if I have to trade him for a future second and, you know, a much lower tier player just to get another body on my team, I'm willing to do that too. But I need to get rid of everyone on this team that I honestly need to get rid of everyone on this team. The only person I would want to keep is Josh Allen, and I'm willing to move him if that's what I have to do to get the ball rolling. I don't want to. I'd rather rebuild everything else first and see where I'm at, see how many seconds, how many other firsts can I get, what can I get rid of first. But if nobody wants anything else on my team, I cannot go into the season looking this way. I need to get myself out of the middle.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. So I took over. I haven't done this in a few years, but somebody talked me into taking over an orphan roster recently. This was probably 2 months ago. They talked me into taking it over, and I was like, yeah, you know what? That'd be fun. I haven't done it in a little while, and I'm pulling it up right now. But so I went into this with basically no assets, like at all. And the only real assets I had were Josh Allen, and then Zay Flowers, and Jalen Coker was my next best option on the team. Like, he was my third best player. So there's nothing on this team. So what I did was I said, screw it. I'm going to take this team over anyway, just for fun. Oh, and by the way, this team had they had one. They only had their first this season, no extra firsts, and no first in 26. So like this was just a severely neglected and just bad trade rosters. So all that being said, I gotta make sure I pull it up and find the deal. I ended up making a trade to get rid of Josh Allen because I didn't have any other assets to get rid of, basically. Here's what I ended up walking away with. Now, I did something that's kind of fun, and this might be a good opportunity to do this in this league, where you do an auction. And basically what I'll say is I am trading X player by the end of, and you pick a time frame, no matter what. The best offer I get. Now, there's like a minimum bid. You can put like a minimum bid. This would be like the absolute minimum. But I am trading him no matter what for the best offer that I get by X time. And then I do a leaderboard for everyone to see. So I'm like, okay, right now, Jimmy's in first place. Bobby's giving me the second best offer. And, James is giving me the third best offer. Oh, we got a new one. He slides in between Jimmy and James. And he do all of that. And it drives up the price because people keep outbidding each other and things like that. It's not something you can do all the time. But when I'm dealing with like a major asset that I need a lot for, I like to do this. Does involve some risk. If your league does not trade much, you don't have a lot of active people, do it at your own risk, because if you only have one or two people bidding against each other, it's not going to go great. But if you have an active league, the bids could drive up crazy. This is what I ended up getting. I ended up getting 4 total firsts and a second for Josh Allen. 2 of those, one of them being 104 this year and 112 this year, plus 2 firsts in next year's class that look very promising. So 4 firsts and a second. That's a lot to get for one player. Would I have loved it to not be 112 and be a little bit higher in this year's class? Yeah, that would have been amazing. But that's what you're going to have to try to do. You're going to have to try to sell your top asset and get a true king's ransom for it. Now, the hard part is you're probably not going to be able to do that with this year's class at this point. We're too close to the draft. It's probably already started. If you can, if you're one of those leagues that drafts in July or something instead, then you can do this. It's the perfect time. If not, then do it for next year. Do it for next year's class. I like 27 more than 26, but for whatever it's worth. So that would be my kind of recommendation on how to do that. Taylor, have you ever done anything like that, and what's your thoughts on it?
So I have done something like that once or twice, and I only commission one league, and the one that I commission is a public trading league. So any trade that is made has a 24-hour window where anyone can make a public counter in our sleeper chat. And so if you don't like the price that someone got, then you can offer your own thing. And at the end of that 24-hour period, the best offer is the one that goes through. Whoever made the original offer gets to make the final counter. So that was kind of the league that I came up with purely because of what you're talking about, that thrill of, that time window and people bidding each other up. And if you have the right assets, you can do that. Josh Allen is one of maybe 6 assets that you can do that with right now. Now, to the point that you made about getting a good trade, this league doesn't look like they're very active because everyone still has their 26 firsts. Very few people have more than 120-25 first. So
then what I would probably do is I would probably make my minimum bid a little bit higher than I would normally do, just to make sure I don't get totally screwed up.
Yeah, I think telling people that you want 4 firsts in value is what you're looking for. And then they can kind of figure out in their own mind, what does 4 firsts look like with the team that I have? Because I think that's what you're looking for. That's your minimum for what we need in this league is 4 firsts in value, I think. So there's one manager who has the 103, 104, and Jared Goff. They also own Jaden Daniels. So we're in deep trouble giving this manager Jaden Daniels and Josh Allen. But would you consider the 103, 104, and Jared Goff for Josh Allen?
103, 104, and Jared Goff. So we're looking at basically Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, and Jared Goff for Josh Allen.
Or you're going to have Hampton if someone chooses to take one of those two in front of you.
I just don't love Goff being the piece that I get with those two. I think the value's pretty close. I think the value.
So that's our best draft capital partner. So would you want to look at something different and try to get? Would you want?
I mean, I would even be open to somebody like if it's a good enough first player. Okay, I'll take your first this year, 26 and 27. He said all of these guys are new to Dynasty, so I'm sure that there would be somebody willing to do something like that. Like, I'll give you a player in my next 3 firsts for this guy. Especially if it's a guy that's like thinks he's better than he really is. Like those could end up being some early firsts. That would be a really ideal situation. So Pete, like what quarterback would you want in return? Like who has Baker?
Baker's a little bit older than what I would want if I'm going to with this team.
Isn't he younger than Goff?
Is he younger than Goff? No way.
I'm looking that up.
I mean, Goff was he's drafted 2 years ahead of him. I don't know.
It's your job to talk. I can talk.
Okay.
He's 30.
You look it up.
And Jared
Goff's 30, and I think Baker's also 30, right?
Is 30.
Well,
April 14th for Baker versus October 14th. So Baker is indeed. Yep.
Slightly older.
For what it's worth, though, I don't love Goff either. He just happens to have the 103 and 104, and we're stuck working with what they have. So, I mean, I would rather look for like Justin Herbert. You know what I mean? Like, let's just go down a list.
See, I would, but look at this team. This team's interesting. So this team is a contending team. Like, there's somebody that is going to love getting Josh Allen. However, they're going to be getting very old very soon. Their receivers are all ancient and decrepit. Their running backs are right up there as well. So if I can get Baker Mayfield, give him Josh Allen, and take 109 and his 2 firsts, all of a sudden those picks could be early.
Well, that's 4 firsts in value and a little bit extra, I think. I think that's about what you traded for, the 4 firsts and a second. If you're getting Baker, the 109 this year, and then those 2 firsts, I think.
Those are later first, so that's where it kind of helps because the value of 27 2 years away being a little bit lower.
Yeah, for most people. I mean, for the purposes of a rebuild, we're fine with the 2027.
Absolutely.
I don't hate that at all. I think the question is, does that give that manager security in winning this year? Because they only have Saquon and Kamara, and if they give up the 109, that means they're not drafting a running back. So we might have to get a little bit friendlier with them to get a deal done if we want to make that happen. Like Brian Robinson.
I mean,
Robinson doesn't help us at all. We could get rid of him in this deal.
Have them, even though I don't like this guy that much, we'll throw in Brian Robinson. They throw in Anthony Richardson.
I mean, honestly, the risk reward with Richardson, I'd be fine giving up more than Brian Robinson if that's what he's willing to do, because we don't want any points on this team. This team's terrible. We don't if we tear it down, we want to make sure that we get, everything we can. And we don't want to end up in that 108, 105 range in the 2026 class. That's not going to help us at all. So
yeah, Jason, I agree. If you can get a 3-way trade done, I love doing 3-team trade, 4-team trades. Like, I love doing those. It's just so hard to get all the managers to agree that that's the right value for them. I've successfully, I actually did a 5-team trade one time, and it was pretty fantastic. But it is very hard to pull off.
There's not much else on this roster that I would be interested in, Garrett. I mean,
Jaden Daniels' owner expressed interest in Chase Brown. So what
that
do
was
they
the
have?
team that has the draft capital.
What with 103 and 104? I mean, I'm trying to see what's 104's price. Chase Brown plus what is 104? Because right now, people are high on Chase Brown after this. It might not be much of a plus.
They could use a wide receiver pretty badly. Especially, I mean, I don't think Ibuka really eats into Godwin if he's healthy, but there's some smoke there now, right? Like we're getting another receiver in the room. Like this person has a reason to see Godwin's name and feel worse about it today than he did before the draft. That's where I'm getting with this. So can we package up Chase Brown and one of our receivers for the Steelers and get like to 104 if that's what it takes? Like, I know you're saying it might be close enough, but I'm fine giving that for the 103, 104 and getting Travis Hunter instead of having George Pickens and Chase Brown.
I'm fine with that.
For this team having to rebuild.
So that's the nice part is like, I think you have the assets on this team. We've given you, 4 or so different trade options and ideas. But the good news is you have the players there to get back a haul in draft capital. And at this point, I'm not being picky. I'm just trying to gain value. Just trying to gain value in future assets. And I think that'll
and shed points. Yep.
There you go.
Okay, so I have a very personal question for you guys. And this might be stepping over a line, but we do that here.
You do.
Yeah.
We don't, but you do.
So, are you someone, I might out you guys right here, but are you guys someone who gets annoyed at people when they take more than 10 minutes on an 8-hour clock in rookie walks and rookie drafts?
I wouldn't say I'm annoyed.
How long does it take?
10 minutes, but about an hour I start to get annoyed.
I think it depends.
Do you like drop a comment if you're working on a trade when you're on the clock?
I try to, just so I don't have other people, pinging
I
me.
hope that someone sends me an offer so that I can be truthful in my chat saying, "Oh, working on a deal, get back to you when I can." Because
yeah, he lied yesterday. He's like, "I'm taking 2 receivers."
I was gonna take 2.
So Taylor's a liar. Tristan does that too. You both. It's something about the editorial.
Well, you get to hit delete in our world and like rewrite it. So maybe that's part of it. No, but for real, I think it's okay if people want to spend a good amount of time on the clock because you waited all year for your picks to mature and for you to be able to get a good deal with whatever you're doing. And I don't want to be making someone feel like, their season wasn't as fun as it should have been because they were pressured when they were on the clock. Like, I don't want to be that guy. But if there are people in my league that are known for not being punctual, let's say, I'm happy to ping them. I'm fine pinging someone and saying, "Hey, let's get going." Like, there's bathroom breaks at work, right? Like, I'm fine saying that, but I'm not upset internally. Like, I'm just poking fun.
Yeah. Okay.
See, I'm the opposite. I won't say anything. But in my head, I am not.
Oh, you were upset with me yesterday then. You were like, "This guy."
Oh, no, I was driving, so I didn't care.
So,
and there's a difference. There's a difference early in the draft versus late in the draft. Like, late in the draft, I expect you to kind of forget that you were on the clock with your 4th round pick. Like, I'm not expecting you to be like hanging on every pick, but like, okay, you've had the 101 for how long?
Right.
And like, why have you not taken Genty 2 hours ago?
Okay, well, that's it. No, just kidding. We have another one.
Awesome.
Another one. This one, do you see the notes, Garrett? Could you read those? That it's a little bit.
Pete at Dynasty Shuck.
What?
Did you really change the name of
Dynasty Shuck.
That's fantastic. Yes, I can see the notes here. 16 teamer. I love that. I love some of those deeper leagues. They only start 8 though. So to kind of balance that out. Just traded away Tracy Dell. The fact that you got anything for Dell is fantastic. And my 2026, I don't know what in 2026, but 2026 something.
I'm assuming
for
first.
Jared Judy. I'm not sure what to do with the 102 in a single QB league. Should I take Warren, Hampton, or Tet? I also have the 116, 2-4, and 2-5. So I would be targeting Aurora. It's PPR, 1 QB, 16-man, start 8, half tight end premium. Also open to moving my 26 first for a tight end, but the 1-3 is on the block. So if I'm not sure if I should try to make a splash for the 103. All right. So here we go. This team, top to bottom. Can we start at the top? All right. Bryce Young, Bijan Robinson, Tyrone Tracy, Malik Neighbors, Lad McConkey, Jalen McMillan, Wandale Robinson, Tank Dell, Michael Wilson, Greg Dulcich, Eric All, and then 101 and 102. He didn't even mention the 101. 101 and 102, 116, 204, 205. So looking at this team, this is going to be 1 QB. And in a 16 team, I understand it, but I would love to not have Bryce Young as my quarterback if I'm able to help it. Because I think you're definitely, obviously, you're one of the better teams in this league. Or at least, it switched. Now you're.
So I turned it to competitor. Also,
you went
side
from
note,
Dynasty
if we
mode
do
to
not
contender
get another roster rescue within this time period, this will be the last one. So just giving you guys a heads up. But we'll kick the next one to Wednesday. If you get it in too late.
Perfect. So adding Ashton Genty and Bijan Robinson, having that type of duo in a 16-teamer is really, really strong. Then hypothetically, if you're adding Omari and Hampton to that as well, I mean, there's just no team that would ever have a prayer of competing with you at the running back position. Not a prayer. Then you have McConkey. You have
Neighbor.
You were reading. Sorry.
You have Neighbors. It's all good. You have Neighbors. You have McConkey. Jalen McMillan obviously took a hit, and Wandale Robinson. So you could obviously use a little bit of help in the running back room, and we have almost nothing at tight end. I know you mentioned Warren. I am not taking, even though I think he's a very good player, I am still taking best available player. And even though you don't really need running back, you could use receiver. You can flex Omari and Hampton. Like, you're still taking the best available players. So for me, that's the case. I'm drafting those two guys no matter what. I don't know that I'm necessarily trying to trade all the way up to 103, but I am open to trading back up using my 26 first if somebody's willing to make a deal.
I don't want to trade up for the 103 using the 116 if I can help it, because in a 16-team league, I mean, it's a start 8. So once that cliff hits, there's almost no reason to have, a third round pick. Actually, you know what? Yeah, they do have a third round in their rookies, but we only have the 313 this year. So I mean, a third round picks are worth nothing in this league format for me. So having the 116 is still valuable. That could be Jalen Milroe, Shedeur Sanders if you needed to. If you need to take a swing there. Your 204, 205, those look like good tight end picks to me. Ferguson, Arroyo, whoever's there.
I'm guessing Mason Taylor is probably gonna be
that's
gone
about
by that
20th overall, and he's been going roughly 16 to 20 in my drafts so far. So
but Aurora, if you're a fan guy,
not.
I am not. But if you're a fan guy, you could be going there.
Ferguson
Rich loves him
to the Rams in a 16-team league. That
Ferguson
might get you somewhere. So that's where I'm leaning with these picks, is making them. I think there's value in them with this class and your needs. Like the 204, 205 normally, maybe not that appealing. But if you're using them on tight ends with this construction, I'm fine with it, especially the upside guys. So to your point about the quarterback, what does it cost for us to get up to the 103? If it's our 2026,
does anybody have two? Can we look at the teams? Like, if we were to trade another team for a quarterback, is there anybody that has two? Oh, right there, Caleb and Dak.
how about
I would love to upgrade from Bryce Young to Dak, Jaden Daniels, and Kyler Murray.
So you could probably do Kyler Murray.
Trevor Lawrence and Tua.
I don't know how comfortable you would be with Kyler Murray, but you could probably do a small something.
Penix.
And move from Bryce Young to Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I think Kyler Murray, Penix, and Bo Nix. I think those are probably your three best options there. So, yeah, would you move Bryce Young and one of your seconds to upgrade to either Penix, Nix,
so we
or
have
Murray?
226 seconds, and that's where I'd start. If I can do Bryce Young and a future second, because I don't know where those ones are going to be, and I know that this year we have a deep enough class to make these seconds worth it, that's where I would lean. And honestly, I don't know. Gosh, I might rather give 226 unknown seconds than give up the 204 this year. That's a tough one for me. I don't know how much my league mates value future seconds in a 16-team league. If it's not a lot, then maybe it's better to do it that way. But I do think that it's worth trying to just package some of those mid-tier assets with Bryce Young to get anywhere you can get. I don't want to use the 103 on Cam Ward though. So I'm not sure what we're moving up to the 103 for when we have such a need at quarterback. Like, now that I'm looking at this more, like, there's no reason to use assets to go get the 103 when we have this need at quarterback. And I want to point out, they did say they got Jerry Jeudy on this team. So they don't have Dell. They don't have right. They don't have Dell, and they do have Jeudy. So they at least have 3 starting wide receivers every week. So
right. 103 guy wants a 26 first and 116 and a second, which I understand that. I would ask for that too at 103. I just don't think on this team it makes sense to do it
you're
that
just
way.
packaging too many of your assets to get one. And although that's, can really pay off, I think you're putting yourself at a really big risk of like losing your season because of one injury or 2 injuries. And that's just too fragile for not having guys like Josh Allen on the team or Justin Jefferson. You've got Malik Neighbors. He's the only one. Oh, and Bijan, sorry. So you've got 2 guys on this team that can maybe overcome losing a true starter and having to drop down a tier. But the teams you're up against are just so much better that it's not worth taking a swing into the 103. So that's, sorry, Jesse. I think you're just going to have to pick the 102 and then wait and see where you get with the 116. The one question I have, Garrett, is are you trading up for Jackson Dart?
Not if I can make one of those other deals. I would much rather go after Penix, Nix, Kyler Murray. Like, I think those are the moves that I'm much more interested in trying to make, because I've at least seen enough out of all of those guys to know that, I mean, Kyler, obviously, you know what you're getting there. But even Nix and Penix, they showed enough as rookies that you can feel pretty confident that they're going to be a pretty solid asset. Bryce Young is still very much so up in the air. I know they gave him more options in the draft, but I still don't feel good about that.
The team, I'll switch to the Cleveland Browns team, Pete, is number 5. Yeah, so this team is going to take
higher than we're used to being.
Going to take Jackson Dart at 114. They have 114. Their quarterbacks are Kirk Cousins and DTR. So this team is going to take Jackson Dart in a 16-team, 1-quarterback league at 114. Yeah. So that's why I'm wondering. We know where he's going to go. We could try to jump up to 113. I don't know if that makes it any different for you, knowing that that's kind of what we would need.
I mean, if I only have to give up the 3rd rounder to do that, then sure. Anything else, I'd probably
Yeah,
not.
I think I'd be more interested.
Because you feel drastically more confident in Bryce Young or Jackson Dart. Like at that point, I guess it's just another shot at it, because you'd still have both. But I don't know that I feel much better.
I mean, couldn't
about
you
one than the
just
other.
give up the 116 on a better quarterback too, though? Because it is a one quarterback league. So would you be interested in trading it away for like a veteran quarterback then?
Depends what you can get. The 16 team leagues, those quarterbacks just have so much value, even though like it's much closer to super flex value of a 12 team league. So that's where it just gets really, it's such a unique format in that sense. I've done a couple of these before, and those quarterbacks, I mean, there are weeks where I've traded a 3rd round pick just to have a starter for that week because my guy went down. And like, yeah, I know Davis Mills only has a couple games, but I'll trade for him. Like, like that.
I wonder, what about if you could get Caleb Williams? Would that change your mind with the 116? Would you go after a guy who's younger like Caleb Williams? That's the only...
If I could upgrade that much, then yes, I would trade 116 for that.
116 and Bryce Young for Caleb Williams. That's what I'm thinking. Yep. So if you can do that as an upgrade and get Young and potentially a top 10 production quarterback, that's where I would lean. So if you can use the 116 with Bryce Young and get Caleb, his other quarterback is Dak Prescott. He's also got draft capital, so maybe that manager's interested in something like that. Who knows?
Awesome. Well, Jesse, best of luck. I think you're in a very, very good position with a few elite assets. I think upgrading that quarterback and then just taking those running backs, sit pat, take Ashton Genty, take Omarion Hampton, and you get the best available players in those spots, and you're going to be in a great position.
I cut in here really fast?
I guess.
2 people just scanned our QR code, but it's the last one. So if you are about to submit a roster review, let me know in the chat. And if not, I say let's start ending it.
You've got 60 seconds.
Well, there's like a 60-second delay on this as well.
I've got a topic.
Oh yeah, you timed it.
I've got something. Yeah. We can spitball for a couple of minutes here. So I made a trade.
I actually really did kind of time it once, Pete, because I had YouTube up at the same time during the countdown.
Did you think I was being sarcastic? I was totally being honest there. Oh, someone else just scanned a QR code.
Oh, okay.
Whoa. Anyway.
What do you
let us know?
What are you willing to give up in a quarterback needy roster to draft Shedeur Sanders?
What am I giving up?
Say you don't have the pick. Say that.
I was going to say, I'm just waiting for him to come to me in the end of the third.
Pick. You don't have the pick, but you need a quarterback, and obviously you don't have the assets in a rebuilding team to go get Jackson Dart or Cam Ward. They're just out of your reach. So maybe it's not Shedeur. Maybe we open this up a little bit bigger and we say Milroe or Shedeur. What are you willing to pay with these lower tiered quarterbacks now when you know you need to take a swing at it? There is upside on both Shedeur with his landing spot and Milroe with his profile. There is some upside here. So on a rebuilding team, where are you looking to pay to try and get a shot at those apples?
The hard part is I'm not willing to give, because usually if you're trying to trade into the third, they're going to want your second next year. Like they're going to want a round higher typically. The hard part is if I'm a rebuilding team, I probably have 201, 202, 203. Like, and I don't want to give up something like that for them. So what I would try to do is I would try to give up my next 2/3 is what I would try to do. I would be willing to give my 26 and 27 third round pick to get one of those guys if I really thought that one of those guys could.
So they're not going in the third in my drafts. They're going like 207 through 211. in
Shador
Superflex.
is?
No, yeah, he's going a lot. You will not draft any
People don't
Sanders, Garrett.
care that he went in the 5th. They think that he went in the 5th because of his personality and stuff. They don't.
Then I'm
Yeah.
letting people take him. I'm not
So you're
trading up
gonna
to
just
get either
say
of those
pass
guys.
on quarterback. I like if I don't get one of the top 2 guys
Yeah.
and I need a quarterback this year, I'm just gonna say
People are drafting them in the
yeah,
mid-second.
like late second, mid-late second, 207 through 211.
I bet you if I put up a mock draft right now,
yeah, then I'm just
he
passing.
goes this. We won't stay online for this, but I'll put up a Superflex mock draft. I'm curious to see where he goes in it.
Yeah, I haven't made it that far in any of my drafts yet. All of mine are still in the first round, except one is at like 203.
I'm telling you, it's not that like. So here's 2 things that I heard from the earlier part. RJ Harvey is going.
I guess I could understand. I could understand Milrow to an extent at like maybe 211, 212, but that's like the best I could do. There's a lot of really good assets in those ranges. Like that baffles me. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
people are out here taking, like I said, they're taking big swings. So that's why I wasn't sure if you were even in on it, because that's, I mean, it's a commitment at that point. You're actually like saying, I need this person to succeed in order for my roster to improve, because you're investing at that point. It's not really a swing as much as it is like a price tag.
No, it's not a lottery ticket anymore. All right, Pete, do we have any signups or no?
I'm going to take a nap.
All right, guys. I know I'm beat. It is 3:00 Eastern time. It has been a 3-hour show, and then did the pre-show beforehand. So yes, I am beat, but I appreciate you guys. This has been awesome. It has been a fantastic show. Thank you to Rich for being in here earlier. Taylor for being willing to take the second shift here and hop in with us. Pete, I know it's a lot of work behind the scenes, and sometimes not behind the scenes. So I appreciate all of your hard work there as well. For the rest of you guys, thank you for being with us, hanging out. We will be back Wednesday at noon for the next roster rescue.